Avengers, assemble! It's day 2 of the Fixed Ops Roundtable Automotive Avengers event. So don your capes and don't forget your mask. Here to lead our team of heroes is Vanessa Collins of Northwood University.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vanessa Collins from Northwood University. Let's power up together for day 2 of the Fixed Ops Roundtable Automotive Avengers event. It's up to us to find the stolen hours. Good thing we've got the superheroes here at Fixed Ops to show us how. Automotive Avengers, assemble. Don't forget to show off your powers by using our super chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen. Just be sure to select everyone, not just hosts and panelists. We are suiting up for our very first speaker of the day. It's Robert Miggs from Carter Myers Automotive.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. This is the Automotive Avengers event. We have one of the great Avengers and superheroes of Fixed Ops with us today. It is not Spider-Man. It is Robert Migliaccio, who's the service director at Carter Myers Automotive's Valley Dealerships, Carter Myers Automotive. Robert, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
No, thank you, sir. I had to unmask there a little bit. I don't want anybody to steal my identity.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's another segment we have coming up later in the show, actually.
Maybe later, yeah.
So, hey, grateful to you and all you do. You personally coming a long way in the last year and a half, and the great work you're doing there at the CMA.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's definitely been a big transformation, not only personally, but professionally. Trying to push the boundaries of fixed operations and in the automotive world, and more online than I guess than what you would normally see. I think I've said on one of the panels before, just when we've spoken, a lot of the focus of what I've been doing is more geared towards what the sales side would typically do. So I'm just trying to embrace that and bring it over to the fixed operation side.
I see a lot of what you do on social media. It's hard to keep up with you. I feel bad if there's something I haven't liked yet and just following it, but you're not just on the more traditional social medias. You've opened up in the last year or so on TikTok, and I mean, it's got to be going well because you've built quite a following already.
Yeah, no, just realizing there's a different group or class of people in every facet of what we're in. So you know, the Facebook group may not be the same group that I'm getting the attention on LinkedIn or on Instagram, but and then, you know, same goes when we look over the situation on the TikTok side. You know, I can do a little more fun videos, a little more in depth of the backside of the business and showing off the technicians in the shop and what we do in the shop. And, some of the other platforms allows me to be a little more business oriented. Some of them allow me to be a little more personal oriented. So really just kind of taking it in and embracing each one independently, but trying to keep it cohesive. I mean, same with trying to follow you guys. Every post you guys have, it's wild to keep up sometimes, but yeah, no, it's been real good. It's been a lot of fun too, putting it all together.
And there's a lot of different audiences, a lot of different ways to reach them out there. I don't think there's no one size that fits all. But not only have you been developing yourself, let's talk about your team there at the Valley dealerships, Carter Myers. You've really helped develop Tim. You actually showcase them. You're one of a number of people who do that. And a lot of people have followed in your footsteps, Robert. Let's talk about your team a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to focus on showing and showcasing everybody that works here, let them all feel important. It's funny because when you first start doing it, they look at you a little silly because you want to take their picture and you tell them you're going to post it on social media. They just think you're a little crazy. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it definitely helps build the camaraderie around the group and the understanding that we're all in this together. We're all a team. And each person has their place. Each person has their part in what they do for the store and the company and for themselves independently with it as well. So, my advisors really kind of take the cue of it. They do some stuff on social media as much as they can. I'm trying to get them to follow suit, but even across our stores, we do some social posts for some of the charitable donations and things that we do across the 23 stores that we have. And, watching some of them piggyback off or copy some of my posts that we put up and showcasing the store or the people there. It's enlightening, and it's a lot of gratitude, the fact that people are kind of following suit too. So I really appreciate everybody's attention on that.
You came on the show a couple months back. You did the keynote. I remember Liza opened up for you. That was our 20th Fixed Ops Roundtable. Can't believe it, right? Here we are, 22. Yeah. But you talked to us about how you moved your family. You relocated to another state for the opportunity at Carter Myers, and you worked at a great dealer group, okay? And you saw opportunity here. And I remember you telling us the story how CMA interviewed you, but they interviewed your family too. Tell us a little bit about that, because that was very transformative, that in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of what ended up happening and transpired, I was with a great auto group up north in Pennsylvania. We were just in a position where we were just kind of looking at life a little bit differently and what we wanted. And it was going to require a big change. It wasn't just a matter of location of living or where we were working. It was really kind of a matter of changing the whole focus of what we were doing. So obviously that led to looking into auto groups, because this is the only profession I've ever really kind of tackled into and really made it a career when I was young. So it was simple and easy to say, look, I just got to find the right auto group to get with, who aligns with the values and cores of what we're looking to do. And that can really kind of push me to go to the next level as well. And it was, I reached out to CMA. We have our president and executive manager of the group in the Valley is Scott Simons. And speaking with him, he's like, hey, you got to talk to our general manager. We went through some Zoom interviews, obviously being 6 hours apart. And we discussed some things and, where the store was versus where I was, because this was actually a step back in position as well, being a fixed operations director where I was prior, overseeing the dealership, the recon department, body shop, and then going back to just servicing, taking care of just the service department was a little bit of a step. So they were concerned on the financial side of things. And, when I was looking at what we were doing, finances were part of what I needed to support my family. But at the end of the day, we were looking at like a quality of life situation. So we came down. I said, look, let's do this. Let me at least come down. Let me see the store. Let me meet everybody in person, see if what is online is what it is in person, and we met and we interviewed and everything seemed good. And we started discussing the possibility of actually moving forward with a hire. And they said, all right, that's great. But before we do so, we need you to bring the family down. That's wife and kids, not just the wife. And we need you to let them meet everybody and let us talk to them, because ultimately at the end of the day, if we're going to do this is a big undertaking. We're uprooting everything that you guys know. We got to make sure everybody's on board. So it was pretty wild to take them in here. We sat in a giant conference room And they interviewed the kids, talked to the kids. They talked to my wife, asked them questions about the move, about what I do, how they would feel about moving. And it was intriguing to see the aspect of what was going on to make sure that not only for themselves that they were going to make a culture fit and we weren't going to come in and out in 3 months and say this isn't working, but also for my family to see that there was some skin in the game from the dealership to say, look, we're willing to go down this long term. If he is who he says he is, and we are who we say we are, we should be able to have a long relationship, and there should be no reason this should be an issue. So I think it definitely helped. It was a wild and loopy road for a couple months living apart, but it was definitely well worth it at the end of the day.
Were there multiple people, if you don't mind, on the Carter Meyer side who conducted the interviews with your family?
Yes, it was Scott Simons and our general manager here, and then we met with pretty much anybody we wanted to. They let us meet with the sales staff. They let us meet with the sales managers, anybody in the service department. They allowed us to come through because, in certain situations when you get hired at a dealership, they bring you in after hours and don't want you to talk to anybody because it may be a surprise to someone or there's a special situation. So it was nice that it wasn't a full capacity sit down with everybody, but it was a little intimate at first. And then we were allowed to spend some time, and then they made some recommendations and places to go in the area to really go explore not only the store, but the area that we moved to at the end of the day, and really kind of see what the area was about as well, and make sure that was going to work for us also. Because again, it's all about the family balance life and having them just as happy with the move and everything at the end of the day for those that have had to move or move their family and have younger kids in school. It's definitely a unique situation.
You have four children?
I have 4 children. Yeah. The youngest was in middle school, so it didn't seem as big as a problem when we thought about it. My oldest was in high school. She was a little fearful. And then we got down here and it was the complete opposite. My oldest started thriving. My other 2 daughters started thriving just as well. And my son was the one who was the one having the hardest time transitioning. And we thought he was going to have a breeze with it. And it was pretty good. But like I said, that was part of the first couple months getting everything situated and organized. And once they got into activities, once they got kind of used to being where they were and meeting some people, everything turned around pretty quickly.
I have people reach out to me all the time. Among them, some of the names, Roger Conant, of course, we know the Tullys and the Eds, but people say, do you know Robert Migliaccio? And Robert, you have come on the scene as you're a leader in fixed operations. And I know Liza and Scott are very proud of you, okay, and the work you're doing there. They speak very, very highly of you, and people speak highly of them as well, okay? But you've really come a long way. So I got to ask you to kind of, as we get things started today, and here we are, middle of November, what should our audience be aware of as leaders in the industry, in developing ourselves and developing our teams? What are some of the things we need to focus on? Because you've done a wonderful job in transforming yourself. I know we have a segment coming up on the show. We're going to talk more about that later with some of our colleagues. But what are some of the things you would recommend, to the audience? Some best practices that you yourself have done?
Yeah, I mean, the first and foremost is you got to do it for yourself first. You have to get yourself developed to the position where you're the best version of yourself and you have the ability to lead others. If you're not the best version, you don't have the right, I would say, almost to develop other people, because you're going to be struggling and it's going to be hard for them to take the accountability and structure from you if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not following through on your commitments to yourself and enforcing on other people. So I think that's helpful in a leadership standpoint, because it definitely shows that you're willing to put in the work as much as it is, and just be open and honest and have fun with it. It's amazing what you can do with your staff when you kind of change the perspective of just the boss and employee situation and turn it into a team role play, because it's true buy-in at that point in time. And you really have a difference in how your day-to-day goes, their ability to step up to the plate when you're not there, their ability to do the right things without you having to ask, and really just kind of helps develop the whole team aspect of what you're looking to get done out of everything. So, first and foremost, make sure you're taking care of yourself and doing the things you're asking others to do at the end of the day. I think we've all seen those pictures of a leader and a boss, and I think that kind of fits it. You know, you can't be in the back cracking the whip. You got to be in the front pulling the wagon. So you got to be there for it.
I love the early morning posts on social media, on Facebook, from the basketball court, updates before you even get to the store. Robert, do you ever sleep?
I'm tending to think I don't. The kids wear me out. The house wears me out. The job wears me out. But like Tully says, I like to go home tired and rich. Is that how he puts it? You know, at the end of the day. So I like to try to give it my all. A lot of that has been given up just to make sure that, one, I'm giving time to myself, and then secondly, I'm giving time to my family as well. So I try to focus and take away the hours that I would be away from the home and structure that in the morning for myself to be able to give back to them. So that way I'm not taking any time away from them while a lot of them are sleeping. I usually get home and my youngest is up and my wife's starting to get up, but the majority of the time they're all still asleep when I'm out of the house and get back in the morning. So it's something that allows me to kind of get myself going, but doesn't disrupt our life cycle of what we're kind of going through. But no, I sleep, I think enough, I think is probably the proper word.
I've heard it said that we create our habits and our habits create our futures. Okay. And I would tend to think that you buy into that.
I definitely do. I think changing myself and I think we said on the other segment, you know, I was always a person that was out there and willing to help everybody. But I did very little to help myself and take care of myself sometimes. So living by that and actually taking care of it, I think it's putting all the right karma out in the world, and that's going to come around and help out in the long run and foreseeing a lovely future in the automotive industry. And again, it allows me to do things like this because I'm putting myself out there. It's caught the attention of a lot of names that you've said that I've come to learn and know and you know, kind of pull in as mentors to myself, even if they don't even know it, just to kind of watch their career path and what they're going on pushes me to see where I can still kind of take myself and go and whatnot. So it's good, man. You got to have some focus and definitely the discipline to keep pushing.
Well, Robert, excited to have you with us and very grateful for all you do and all your help with Fixed Ops. And you're a true leader, and everybody can see it. So they gravitate towards you. So on behalf of the Roundtable and behalf of the Fixed Ops community, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family next week.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Honored to be here. Thanks, Ted.
Everybody, Robert Migliaccio kicking us off today from CMA, Carter Myers Automotive, CMA's Valley dealerships here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Wish us luck today. Seatbelt, John. What are you forgetting?
Oh, Mears. You sound just like Dad. Hey, Mom, where do you find the oil stick thingy?
Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, Sheila, anything you need. Okay. Have a great game, buddy.
Thanks. I'll try.
It's your first time out. Relax. Have fun.
Wait, we're not going home? Mom, can I? Oh, seatbelt. That was awesome.
Can we take some time to think about it?
Of course. Mom. All right, bye, Mom.
Have a good day, honey. Drive safe.
Life is about connection, having a support system to lean on, and roads to endless possibility. At every turn, guiding the way, we are building the connections that move you.
This speaker's superpower is PR and communication. Please welcome Laurie Halter.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It is a great pleasure to welcome back Laurie Halter of Charisma Communications, a great friend of the Fixed Ops Roundtable and the entire retail community. Laurie, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back with you guys.
Laurie, you do so much for the industry. Your content, your PR reaches, it has tentacles, it reaches everywhere. And you've got great quality stuff. So congratulations to you on all the success that Charisma is happening in the marketplace.
Thank you so much. And you know what's funny about that is we always say, clients always say, like, how do we know when we're successful? And I say exactly what you just said. When people say, we just see you everywhere, right? That's the key.
And you're also very instrumental. I don't know whether people know it, behind the scenes with a lot of companies that are on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Quantum 5 comes to mind. Our good friend John Traver comes to mind. My Karma comes to mind. Okay.
Yeah.
And so many others, that I haven't even mentioned, but you do a whole lot for the industry and making sure that everybody's message is on point and looks and sounds good.
Well, anytime I get anyone new on, I say Fixed Ops Roundtable is your first stop. That's where you need to be. So I think there's a reason for that, Ted, and it's the quality content you put out all the time.
Oh, well, thank you. So here we are. We're in the middle of November, maybe 6 weeks left in the year. We're going to talk about 5 ways to make 2024 your most successful yet. There's a lot of change happening, Laurie, in the industry on the variable side. A lot of things, a lot of forces at work there. And I think there's going to be even more focused on fixed operations, moving through 2024 into the future. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what we've seen in the last couple of years, specifically with Fixed Ops, is it's the powerhouse of your entire store, right? I think people they knew that before, but more so we've seen that the profits that come from the fixed ops side are greater than anywhere else in the dealership. And I think we have created kind of a situation, unfortunately, as an industry over the last couple of years, where we maybe haven't been as good to the customers as we should be because it's been so easy to sell cars. Well, it's becoming harder and harder now that inventory is flowing back on the lots. And so fixed ops is really going to have to continue to pull the heavy weight of the dealership over these next couple of years.
You've got some great topics for us today. I looked ahead at some of them, and
Yes.
they really are common sense things that make, a whole lot of sense to the dealer and to the bottom line. So I want to see if you can share some of those 5 ways, okay, to share with us today. And, where do you want to start with that?
Let's start with one of the top stories I heard. This is out of Paragon Honda this year. And I do want to say that all of these top ways are verified by dealerships who have used them. So none of this is pie in the sky. This is all things that I've personally seen over the last year that has been so successful. Paragon just did a recall campaign for their customers that brought in $300,000 in a month. Now it's Brian Benstock. So as we all know, Brian is amazing. Part of this is just him, right? And his intellect and his innovation. But they created an outgoing recall campaign, not only saying bring your cars back in from the recall, but then also developing from their BDC an opportunity to upsell on different services and maintenance products. And like I said, from this one thing, I think the total was close to $350,000 for the month. So if your dealerships are looking, one way to either finish 2023 strong or start 2024 strong, think about a recall campaign. Reach out, whether it's through your BDC or, this company specifically used AI in order to auto kind of reach out to those folks and then follow up by phone calls. So that's like maybe the top way of all the things I sent that I think that they can create nice profits for this end of the year or beginning of 2024.
And recalls, you're right, are such a great opportunity when handled properly. And you're also right. I'm seeing AI now creeping into the recall, into the way that it's handled. But when you look at all the technology in cars today, especially the last 7 or 8 years, these are really computers on wheels. And there's so much, that can go wrong, with the technology. So recalls are a great way to bring that customer back. Benstock is a wonderful operator, magnificent operator. And that's a big number, 300+ thousand.
That's a huge number. I mean, I was shocked when I heard that. And like I said, even Brian is a fantastic innovator, but even for Brian, 6 figures in 1 month is pretty impressive.
I believe it. So, okay. All right. So recalls. And by the way, our friend, we mentioned in the green room, we're talking about Ed Roberts. Ed Roberts has found that because as you know, he's the king of mobile, right?
Yes.
And growing, in that mobile arena. But so much can be done mobilely, going to the customer and doing recalls. I think Ford has said that, is it 70% of all recalls can be handled on a Ford mobile service truck. So Ed is capitalizing on that and some of the incentives that Ford's got also on recalls. So
this is actually perfect transition into one of the other 5 ways, which is pickup and delivery and mobile. And so Ed is like the king of that, like you're saying. I mean, I really think, and then going back into what we're talking about from a customer service standpoint, we really have not done the best job over the last few years. So pickup and delivery and mobile service is one way that dealers can really, really amp up both loyalty and profits this year. Traver Connect just came out with an amazing new product that they've created kind of this web of partnerships behind the scenes for pickup and delivery. There's some other companies that I've heard of that are really starting to pick up on this mobile pickup and delivery wave. And I really think these white glove concierge services are going to continue to gain ground in 2024. I think what happened is we created a lot of this during COVID, right? And during the pandemic out of necessity. And if dealerships think they can now kind of pull that back and not offer those anymore, that's not the case. We've already proven it can be done. Customers are waiting for this to come to them. And I just heard the other day, Amazon has started this. Have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
Wow. Amazon has started a mobile pickup and delivery service. So guys, if you don't think Amazon's coming for your service customers, they're already there. So I think the pickup and delivery and mobile, both from CSI, and when we talk about successful, it's successful for customer loyalty, but also think of the OEM CSI credits
Yes.
these
Yes.
dealerships can get back. So your CSI scores are really going to become more and more important as we move forward.
What I'm hearing on the CSI front, Laurie, is that the dealers who are going out and performing those services outside the dealership, going to get the car, whether it's to bring it back or do it in the driveway, the CSI scores are through the roof, okay,
Yeah.
on
Yes.
mobile and on service pickup and delivery. And really, when you think about it for a second, I mean, nobody really gets excited about, I'm going to go to the car dealership tomorrow morning.
Right.
and bring my car
As
into
much as
pickup.
we'd love them to, right? But
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. The other day, I took my car in to be serviced. I thought it was going to be, what was that? It was going to be my winter tires actually put on. So I thought it was going to be a tire changeover. I had to Uber to the place because I didn't have an appointment. And they said, come on in. By the time I got there, it had gone from an 1.5-hour wait to a 6-hour wait. So then I Ubered home because I had expected that I'd be going home with the car. And then they called me midday and said, you need new brakes. I mean, so it was, if I had had the option of someone coming to either do the service in my driveway or saying, we'll come pick up your car, take it to the dealership, get all the services done and bring it back, it makes sense why CSI is through the roof. I would be thrilled if they had done that. As the end result is like, I had to wait till my teenager got out of school so he could drive me back to get the car. I mean, so I think, mobile pickup and delivery is just a no-brainer for this next year.
And dealers who are into it, like Ed, like Brian Benstock, are finding that it also cuts down on the need for loaner vehicles and
Yes.
the transaction of having to check that vehicle in and out. All right, so we've got recall campaigns, number one. Okay,
Yes.
we're loving that. I'm totally on board. Number two, service pickup and delivery and mobile. Okay.
Yes.
What else you got?
Okay, so the other thing we just discussed, and I'm jumping all over the place, but AI, we talked about how AI can be so successful, right? And when we talk about AI, it's interesting because a lot of people that I speak with think that their AI is coming for their jobs. And nothing could actually be further from the truth. AI needs people to run. So let's talk about some interesting ways I've seen AI used. I think it's been used in noise reduction for videos. For some of the service videos.
Yes,
it's also, so that's really neat. It's been used. One way I saw it being used so interesting is creating professional responses from your service advisors. So let's say someone's texting and they say, when is my car done? And your service assistant says, it will be done at 6. Do you need it sooner? Let's say that. AI will now say, we've had a look at your car. It's back in the service drive now. 6 p.m. is the suggested time. Is this efficient? Or, is this okay? Or like it'd be even more professional than that. But I think it's so interesting that it's being used to professionalize our technicians and some of the service advisors when they're having communication back and forth. And then the third most interesting way I've seen AI used is for a customer, what they call sentiment. So it can grade immediately an exchange over text, calls, or anything as good or bad based on the words that are being used within that call. So if a call's gone sideways, your general manager or service manager can come in immediately to fix it before it gets to the next level. So I think just AI in general, we're going to see so much this next year on the AI front.
It's already here, right? I mean,
it's here. I mean, it's being used in dealerships today.
Yeah, and it's going to grow, and it's going to pick up a lot of steam, and it's going to get better and better. And some already have it down, okay? But you're totally right on that. So, all right, I'm in on the recalls. I'm in on the AI, and by the way, some of that affects the recalls as well.
Yes.
The service pickup and delivery. Laurie, the convenience factor. All right, you mentioned earlier what happened 3 years ago. I can't go back. There's so many things now that are convenient that come to me at home. I don't want to go back to go into the grocery store. I don't want to go back to that.
You're exactly right.
I like when they deliver this stuff. So I don't think consumers are going to go retreat from that either.
Yeah, they've already seen it. We've shown we can do it in automotive. And so we can't say that we've got to figure it out. We already have. We've already shown that it can happen. And so I think the dealerships that aren't doing that are just really going to be left behind this next year too.
This is great. All right. So we got 3 of the ways so far.
3. Okay. Let me give you a 4th that is so interesting. And I love this one because it's kind of a way that you can save money in order to profit your bottom line each year. And this is surcharges for credit cards. Okay. I know this is like a very specific, detailed point. Our friends at My Karma help with this, by the way. If you are able to create surcharges, if you're able to know the surcharge of credit cards and flow that through to your customers, Some of the clients that are working with My Karma and other providers are finding $20,000 a month savings from getting back those surcharge fees from the customers. So that's a super easy, just really like, do you want to make 240,000 more this next year? Then a really easy way to do that is start creating surcharges that go to the customer. Start putting the surcharge on the customers for credit cards.
And the whole payment scenario is changing because most service bills, I think 99.9% are paid by credit card. All right. When people pay for their vehicle and service, they pay with a credit card. And it's archaic the way it's been done up until now, where someone has to physically go up to the cashier window, present the credit card. They may have questions on the bill. So the whole payment platform, if you will, is ripe for disruption. And we're seeing that.
Exactly.
And what you're talking about is one of the big ways there as well.
You are exactly right. And that actually ties in very well with this whole other trend that wasn't even on my mind for this segment, but is just making it ease of use from beginning to end. So how can we create the online experience from beginning to end? And you're right, going up to the cashier no longer makes sense. Most people are able to just tap, do Square, pay for it online at the time of their appointment. So that all, you're right. The next disruption is coming with the payments and the end process after the service has been done.
And I know you have, hard to believe, but you have teenagers at home. I would imagine that they're paying for things. My daughter is 22 now, and I started using Venmo a couple of years ago, but we're starting to see new ways beyond the credit card to pay for things. So that's
oh my gosh
now too.
Totally. My 16-year-old daughter just the other day got a Venmo account so she can pay back her friends so they can use one credit card when they go out, and they all just Venmo each other to repay their portion of whatever they got. And I'm like, brilliant. I wish we'd had that when I was younger.
No. All right. So I like where you're going so far. So we got 4 great ways.
Okay. So number 5, I'll give you 5, and then I'll give you a bonus. You actually are getting a bonus today too. 5, this is so cool. I don't know if this is even profitable, but I just like this story. More and more service companies are looking for technicians, right? It's really, really difficult to find technicians right now. I've heard so many stories that have come out this last year. Automotive News has done a bunch of news about this, about companies creating training programs for their own to find technicians. So they're finding, children in foster care. They're finding children at the local high school. Northwood University, I believe, just put something out about this the other day, and then they take them through a technician training program and then hire those technicians back at their dealership. I just think, like I said, I don't know if this is to make them more successful, but I love seeing this trend, because you're watching kids who need jobs, giving them a great education, and then pairing them up for an industry need, which is really a win-win across the board.
Laurie, I think a lot of people outside of automotive don't know what a great career automotive could be. And I think we all of us have a responsibility to be advocates for what a great earning opportunity and what a great growth opportunity automotive could be for any person, young person, male, female, regardless.
I agree. I mean, it's such a great, and when I talk to people about hiring, they say, I didn't want to go into automotive. A lot of people got their jobs not by knowing it was automotive, by being sort of like tricked into going in for the interview. And how do we change that dynamic? We've got to change that around, because it really is such a good industry for people to get their foot in the door.
All right. You said there was a bonus too.
Okay, there's a bonus, because here's the deal. We can't leave my friends at Quantum 5 out of this equation, right? So the bonus is just, training, and training, not only training, but training our staff. I think most training companies need to get out of this idea that they go for a couple of days, they train, and then they leave, right? That's not working anymore. So when I say training, there needs to be virtual training. There needs to be in-person training. There needs to be, for instance, Quantum 5 has an app behind the scenes that helps keep that training fresh, keep it sustainable. So I think just the umbrella over all of this for success is training, right? And it's so old school. I know it's not exciting. It's not AI, but it is what helps make companies successful.
And they're a disruptor. Quantum 5 has disrupted the training industry at a time when we really need training. So they've applied a lot of technology to that. So great job to our friends, David O'Brien and Sarah Van Tyne and the team there at Quantum 5 and Tony, and they're doing a great job. So
they're all doing a great job. And we like saying they're disrupting by bringing the human back into the equation, right? So it's kind of a play on words. Like the disruption is bringing the human element back into the process.
What does Sarah say? People first, right?
Yes, they have a very people first philosophy that if you take care of the person first, this is actually I'm giving you a great close to our segment, Ted. If you take care of the people first, you will be successful, right? No matter what. Like all of these points lead up to take care of the customer that's right in front of you.
All right, everybody. So if you are in the automotive industry, you have a service or a product that's in the automotive industry and you want to break out and get your message out to the masses and do it the right way, Laurie Halter is the person to speak to. She works behind the scenes. She has a company called Charisma Communications. You could see down below her email scrolling below. There's a phone number there as well. Laurie Halter is behind some of the most successful marketing campaigns in our industry, many of which are fixed ops. Not all, okay, but I'll tell you what, she's really helped a lot of companies get their word out. She does a great job on the PR side and on the communication side. And Laurie, we're very grateful to you at the Fixed Ops Roundtable because you've made a lot of introductions for us as well.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the segment, I just think so much of you, Ted, and what you've built. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to be on. Thank you so much.
Oh, Laurie, thank you. And on behalf of the Fixed Ops community, I want to wish you and your family, those teenagers at home, a very happy Thanksgiving next week. And
you too. This is my absolute favorite time of year. Thanksgiving's my absolute favorite holiday, so I cannot wait.
All right, everybody, reach out to Laurie Halter if you have any questions in terms of marketing and getting your word and your message out and making sure that your message is crafted properly. It's worth the time to have a conversation with Laurie. She's the best in the industry. So, Laurie, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Laurie Halter, everybody, from Charisma Communications, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
So being a legacy automotive retailer, we've used a number of different companies over the years to help us train our people and educate our people on everything from sales process to customer service to you name it, anything relating to retail automotive. But in today's world, particularly since COVID, we really set out to try to find a partner that had a much more progressive, contemporary approach to automotive sales, automotive service, customer relations in general. And when we did that, our research led us to the folks at Quantum 5.
Anything that you can do consistently the same way gets better. So what Quantum gives us the ability to do, or has taught us how to do, is follow a very specific framework that delivers a very specific result every time. And that has been invaluable both to our veterans that have been in the business longer than me and the people that we're hiring new. Quantum came into the store as a partner. They've executed on that on every call, every interaction. And what our veteran staff finds to be the most beneficial is they get to continue to learn.
We know that Quantum is more than a vendor, they're a partner. They're actually a part of our business, a core part of our business and our daily processes. When I got into the car business many, many years ago, it was about control this, control the customer, control this. Well, now customers have as much information as dealers. So now it's more about controlling the process, understanding the customer. And that's what Quantum brings to the table. It allows you to have control of a process, understand your customer and your customer's needs, and deliver the relevant information that they need to make that informed decision, ultimately in purchasing a car, but starting with gaining that critical appointment. Quantum puts our client advisors on a pathway to prosperity. Our newer advisors see our seasoned advisors and the success they're having, and the fact that they're bought into the system and they've been on this system for years shows the new client advisors that if you buy in similarly, you're going to yield the same results, if not better. I can't speak enough to what Quantum has meant to our business and to the growth and development of our client advisors.
help us find those missing hours is the training and development leader, John Fairchild from Fairchild Automotive Solutions.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We go live now to in dealership to the high performance fixed ops coach. John Fairchild is with us. He's in store today, and joining us is Shon Kingrey from the Kaiser Automotive Group. John and Shon, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. And you know, this is really known in a lot of circles as Shon Kingrey's Fixed Ops Roundtable. And so, you know, I'm just proud to be here in the company of greatness with Ted Ings and Shon Kingrey. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak about my tremendous passion in life. And that's what I do. I haven't had a job in 15 years, Ted. And, you know, that's because if you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. And that's what I do, y'all. I am so proud of being in the position that I do love what I do. And I think it's a business that we all three of us have an extreme passion for, to say the least.
You know, John, going back to what you said earlier, I'm almost thinking that we should have the Shon Kingrey Fixed Ops Roundtable because there's so much happening in training right now. There's such demand for training and what you're doing. I'm thinking I'm coming back in and joining you and just turn the reins over to Shon and let him handle the speakers and all that stuff, and then I'll do the rest.
Okay, and that's a good idea. But also, what we could do is you could let me do what you're doing, and you and Shon go do some training. So either way, I'm good with it. And, you know, I really think that you're right. There is such a need out there that I really feel thrilled when I'm able to help people to advance their position in life. And you know, I think that I know that as the business is changing, the variable side is getting weaker than it has been in a few years. And, you know, there's a lot of talk in the circles that I frequent about fixed absorption.
Yep. Shon, you know, are you seeing that as well?
It's funny. We talked about it at the end of last year of what we saw 2023 being. And if you go back to those recordings, Ted, my comment was, it was totally, we were all on it together. Ed, if you don't know what fixed absorption is, you better learn, because by the end of the year, it's going to be and it is what it is, guys. It became fruition. It's all about fixed absorption.
Yeah. And that's a great point, Shon. The thing about it is a lot of dealers, a lot of service managers, fixed ops directors that I encounter really don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know what fixed absorption is. Shon, do you have a layman's definition of fixed absorption that you could share with the audience?
It's how much of fixed operations pays the bills, and the rest of it's just gravy on top of the cake, baby.
That's right. That's right. So if you're thinking from a general manager for an owner's or dealer principal's standpoint, you know, they're drawing up right now about, I got this huge overhead, I got this floor plan, I got my rent factor, I got the fixed comp that I gotta pay that won't go away. And you know, it's a large burden to bear. It's not you know, for a while, it's not going to be the laydown it was selling cars. So fixed absorption is exactly that, Shon. It's how much of the bills does parts service, and if we have a body shop pay of the fixed expenses. Remember, we don't have a variable expense unless we sell something. So your salespeople up front are really not an expense. They're more or less an investment. We don't pay them unless they bring in money, right? So fixed absorption is going to continue to be more and more of a hot topic. And, you know, what I do is exactly to address some of these things. So I wanted to talk about, there's really 4 areas that I feel like are areas that dealers can pay attention to that really will improve their fixed absorption. You know, the first one that I want to talk about really is near and dear to my heart is really just training in general. And, you know, I know we've all heard the expression, nobody trained me. And I've actually said that. I've actually had those words come out of my lips when I was in retail and ain't that the truth? Is it's hard and it does not happen a lot in a lot of scenarios where we're actively training our people. Is that what you see, Ted? Shon?
And it's exactly what's happening out there. And there's been a huge, I don't want to say pent up need, but maybe I should, over the last few years. And now the floodgates have opened. All right. And John, you're in high demand. I know you're in store all the time. You're always in different parts of the country. You're in store right now. I appreciate you doing this while you're in dealership. But yeah, there's big demand for that. And Shon, Shon, you hired John. He's doing work at your stores. Now, maybe not today, but quite a bit.
Right. You know, it's funny because everybody knows that John and I had a relationship in Florida, and John was a referral from somebody that we mutually knew, and it works so well. He's in all 8 of our stores. And how the Kaiser Group hired me a year ago officially came down to the fact that fix weren't the focus for them. And let's back into that real quick. They were going to hire a trainer. And I said, before you hire a trainer, we have to get some processes in place. And you put the processes in place. And now John's here and we've got the scoreboards up and we're taking the next step. Our next opportunity of growth for 2023 really relies a lot on John Fairchild.
Well, no, I'm proud to be a part of it, Shon, and thank you. So really the 4 prongs that I feel like customers are missing or could enhance on is number 1 is training. And we all got to remember that without a rhythm or a cadence of accountability, Ted, to coin a phrase that's so near and dear to my heart, that training will soon evaporate. So you can't be a one and done training thing. It's got to be an ongoing process. And there are several modes to train, obviously. One of the ones that, like Ted said, that a lot of dealers of mine opt for is on-site training. And I'm on-site at a dealer today. And this dealer actually, coincidentally, I started working with them in 1985 when I was 19 years old for $4 an hour. And, you know, what we aim to do here is not just to train people, but to actually coach them to better improvement. And coaching can't be done unless we are creating that rhythm of accountability. So on-site training is a very necessary facet, but it's not the only thing that brings results. And let's face it, sometimes it's tough when you're on site to get the undivided attention of the pupils that you've got there and to get them to dismiss the customers. You know, everything's so frantic in the whirlwind of stuff that's going on. A lot of times it's hard to capture and retain the attention. So you've got comprehension on site. And so there are other methods, other modes of training that we want to actually utilize also. And, you know, one of those is classroom training, whether that be classroom in the field of the theater of where the dealer or dealer group is, or bringing them to my Pinnacle Training Center in Atlanta, Georgia. We do monthly workshops for service advisors. We do monthly workshops for service managers. And what we get out of that is so valuable because now they're off campus. They're amongst their peers. You know, the peer interaction, Ted, is something phenomenal. I know you've had some workshop classes that you've done in the past. I've seen a lot of that happen. And tell me, how does the peer and peer interaction in your mind enhance the training that can happen in a classroom setting, Ted?
You're simply exposed to other ideas, other thought processes, other best practices with your peers who you may or may not have known. I just had an interesting segment on the Roundtable where they had an after-hours dinner, and I've seen you've done that as well, after-hours meeting where they don't talk about business. They talk about, you know, things that they do in their lives, fishing, sports, and so on. And I've seen that grow the bond. And you know, if you look at the roundtable, John, you know, here you are. You know, I didn't know Shon Kingrey 5 years ago. I didn't know a lot of the folks, but you know, you create a bond by bringing these people together in a classroom, and they get to learn together. And you get to you as an instructor probably learn as much, if not more, because you hear things that they're using in different parts of the country. And I know I've always said, gee, that's not bad. I think we can incorporate that idea.
Oh yeah, and one of those things recently, Ted, is that we've actually disseminated into the Kaiser group where Shon works, is the notion of longevity. And if you think about it, and I do think about it a lot, and I pull dealers' data all over the country, and what I see is your average mileage of a car in your customer pay car in your shop creeping up and up and up and up. And we all know the reasons why. But if you think about that, if I've established what that customer's longevity is, then it's going to really help me to emphasize why I'm advising to them. So yeah, I picked that up from one of my class members that was one of my advisors, actually, that was in a class about 6 months ago. And I've really taken the ball and ran with that. So the classroom is a tremendous thing. The peer-to-peer interaction is remarkable. You can't really replace it with anything. And I would encourage people to let me know if I can help you with classroom training, either in your field of operation or at the Pinnacle Training Center in Atlanta. My number's all over the bottom there. DM me or message me, and we'll get you on the roster. So yeah, there's two forms of training. The third mode is obviously in there also is video supplement. Now on video, I don't feel like video is a total training mode within itself. What I really feel like is a supplement. And so if I'm doing live training, I'm doing classroom training. Now the video can supplement that, whether I've got somebody that's just coming into the process and we need to get them on the same page, or whether I've got just to supplement what we've already trained to drive it home. Yeah. So that's the third mode that really brings the trifecta. But as far as fixed absorption, the other thing I want to mention that I get involved with, and Shon and I have done this extensively at dealers that we worked with together, is warranty maximization. So whether that be parts or labor, a lot of dealers are leaving so much money on the table that in the amount of warranty uplift that they're not receiving. And most states, and Shon's state is Wisconsin, is about the best one, will give you retail or retail plus what your proven customer pay retail is. And so the way that process works is I do a free assessment for the dealer and I gather their data. And then if they're not ready to file, if they've got some holes in their pricing strategies, perhaps, then I'm going to give them a plan of action that's really going to get those holes filled up so that we can file for the most uplift we can get. And Ted, my average dealer, I figured it out last weekend, and I've actually done more than 175 of these. I counted them all this last weekend, and I was really surprised over the last 12 years or so. And my average uplift for a dealer, if I extrapolate that over a year, what their previous year's warranty hours were or their previous year's part sales were, amounts to about $287,000 a year in pennies from heaven is what I call it.
John, I didn't realize that you do that much. So warranty uplift, and no better time than now with all the inflationary things that are happening in the market for you to be able to advise the dealer on how to file for that. And when I, in the 90s, the domestic dealer I worked for, we were 75% warranty. But now warranty is 18 to 25% your typical dealership. So if I can help you plug holes in your customer pay portion, that's going to both give you a upswing in warranty, but the bigger upswing is going to be your customer pay because we fixed it. So I'm not even talking about the customer pay uplift. But that's something I would like you dealers, general managers, fixed ops directors, service managers, let me know if I can do a free assessment for you. It takes me about 20 minutes to get on your machine and a couple of days for us to crunch it, but I've got full-time auditors on staff and we can get your warranty rate increased. I don't charge a dime until you get your increase. So I wanted to lay that out there as far as fixed op. And let's face it, technicians aren't getting any cheaper, are they, Shon?
They are certainly not. And they want a piece of that too, and I think, and I've talked about this group, we pay full retail for warranty. Okay. The customer pay time on warranty repair orders. So you need that warranty uplift to help offset your cost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, technicians, you can't just go to the technician factory and order a technician, right? That doesn't work that way. And so you got to be able to retain those technicians. They're not getting any cheaper. If I got any hope of keeping a 70+% margin on gross profit for labor and a 38 to 42% gross profit retention for parts, then I'm going to need to make sure that my pricing strategies are intact, because I got to be able to pay those techs what they deserve.
John, you're a great resource for the industry. You do a lot of things. Okay. You're in dealership, you're off-site, for that important off-site formal type training, away from the dealership environment, away from the distractions, and this helping and advising the dealers to file for a warranty reimbursement. And not every dealer is doing that. Not every manager is aware of it, nor wants to do that. And yet you offer that service, John.
Yeah, it's super tedious. It's super complex. If you don't know how to do it, you can easily get your hand slapped, and you can easily spend, as a service manager, trying to get your job done and do that also take you a month to get it done. I promise. It is a pain, but we got the resources to do it. We make it easy. I've got algorithms built that allow us to look for the best uplift, and we'll get it filed for you. Again, I don't charge a dime until you get your uplift. So please let me know if I can help you, folks.
Love it. John Fairchild, everybody. Shon Kingrey, any last word on John Fairchild and the work he does out there?
No, I mean, other than plugging John like I've done for 5 or 6 years, you made a comment. You and I didn't know each other 5 years ago, Ted. I didn't know John 5 years ago. I mean, John was a cold call, and then COVID kicked in, and there was a call of saying, listen, I need to put you off for a while, because even though we didn't have COVID in Florida, everybody was freaking out. Listen, the partnership, and John is not a vendor. He is a partner, and he's a friend, obviously. I'm good friends with John. I'm good friends with his wife. And I got to tell you, it has been a very profitable relationship.
Love it. Yeah, and he's a newlywed. And he's a newlywed too. So there we go.
Apologies for that, but that's okay. We won't hold it against him.
I got Maui'd.
You got Maui'd.
I got Maui'd.
You did.
Maui.
So best in the business, everybody.
Time, you guys.
Yeah, love it. John Fairchild, everybody. Fairchild Automotive Solutions, high performance coach. Reach out to John. John, is that your cell phone scrolling on the screen down below?
That's it. 770-561-4644. Send me an email, john@johnfairchild.net. Find me on Facebook and DM me. Either way,
and by the way, everybody, I'm an automotive trainer, and I refer people to John Fairchild. I refer friends and family to him. So
yes, he does. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted.
See a lot. So
checks in
everybody.
The mail for sure.
All right. Well, Shon Kingrey, thank you so much for joining us this morning. John Fairchild, everybody, here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody wants to be part of a bigger story. And to see something like this in such a big industry is a big accomplishment.
When I heard about Rapid Recon, I was like, man, that's ahead of its time. And now I feel like it's absolutely revolutionary. We are changing the automotive industry one dealership at a time.
Just about anybody can tell you that you are struggling or that you might have a bottleneck somewhere. But what do you do about that?
Rapid Recon is the one software that unifies all the departments. You're going to go from chaos to organization.
Reconditioning is all about making a vehicle ready for sale. The whole idea of Rapid Recon is to take 15 days average to get these cars ready to sell and take it down to 3 to 5.
You can see the bottlenecks that we can eliminate. As a dealer, to be able to log into a website or your app on the phone and know precisely where each car is from all your dealerships, that's invaluable.
We can give the decision makers information that they need to make the decision immediately.
It's live. You can log into Rapid Recon and see exactly where you are. What it means is making decisions based on true information. It makes all the difference in the world.
What gets measured gets better over time, and Rapid Recon does that for us. There's nothing like that in the market.
I oversee 19 of our stores. We're processing 2,500 cars a month. You need technology to make it more effective and overall more profitable.
Rapid Recon is more than software. What's unique about Rapid Recon is the people that come with it.
One of the reasons why we're so good at this is because a lot of us did come out of the car industry.
The software is amazing and it's a tool, but we're not software people. We're car people.
And we know the pains that dealers are going through, not because we've been taught it, because we've lived it.
We get so much praise for our customer service and how well we take care of our customers, and it's because we genuinely care.
They're not going through an automated system. When they call, it's a live person right there. Rapid Recon is just not the name of the company. Rapid means we got to be fast and accurate.
If you want to be as efficient as you possibly can, if you want to be as profitable as you can, you absolutely should have Rapid Recon as your system.
We're a small company, but we're going to change the whole industry.
I'm really excited about how the company's growing. I see us in more dealerships worldwide.
In 5 years, you're going to see that Rapid Recon is a must for every dealership.
We're making a big difference. We're changing this industry in a way that it's needed to change for a long time.
Putting the A in Avengers is our next speaker, Aaron Waters, president of OEM Interactive.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Aaron Waters is with us. OEM Interactive, it seems, has burst onto the scene, yet they've really been a big part of the infrastructure in fixed ops for quite a while. Aaron Waters is the president. Aaron, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted. Great to be here again. Really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and everybody who's tuning in. We enjoy our time here and love to give the community as much thought leadership as we can and feedback.
So, Aaron, I have had a lot of people reach out to me the last few weeks, and they've seen OEM Interactive. They've seen some of the announcements. Congratulations. You've had some great news on being one of those most admired and fastest growing companies as well in the US. So congratulations to you. Tell our audience and just remind us, what is OEM Interactive and what do you do for our industry?
Yeah, thanks, Ted. And first of all, thank you for the congrats. We're really excited and thrilled to be named to Inc. 5000's one of the fastest growing companies in the country. That's truly a part of our people and our partners, and our philosophy here at OEM Interactive is our people, our partners is our purpose. Okay. And if it wasn't for our people and if it wasn't for our partners, we wouldn't have been able to achieve that. And but OEM Interactive is we're a full service digital marketing firm that specializes in working with brands and companies that are looking to sell parts and accessories online. Our team is comprised, it's a very diverse group of individuals that's comprised of individuals from the automotive space, as well as individuals from the agency and marketing world. So we've taken these two worlds, combined them together. We have former general managers, fixed ops directors, parts managers, service directors, service thought leadership, parts warehouse individuals that are part of our team. And then we have this marketing group of individuals that have worked with Fortune 500 companies and worked on Super Bowl campaigns, you name it. We've have this amazing hybrid company, and it's just a really great group of people. And we give our people so much support and tools to really help our partners. And if we're able to do that and support our people, they're going to be able to support our partners. And that's the purpose of OEM Interactive, to help
Aaron,
everyone grow.
you're in a great space, if I can say, because I have never seen such a focus on parts. And now the fact that we're talking about marketing in fixed operations, and that's really your niche, okay? And the fact that you help dealers do that. So I got to come back to you and ask you, what are some of the challenges right now that your partners, and I love that word, have come to you looking for a solution that you can help them with?
Yeah, some of the challenges, I mean, obviously, how can we get more sales? That's like the number one question that we're always asked. And there's a lot of different ways on how we can generate more sales. I think one of the biggest things that I get in pretty much every conversation that I have is, how can we get more time back? Because, you've got the parts department, and then you take this whole separate business, this e-commerce business, and you integrate it within the parts department, and you have the same amount of staff in a lot of cases, and they're getting more phone calls, more emails, trying to deal with and still handle the day-to-day operations that occur in the parts department. So how can they get more time back? And how can we reduce phone calls? How can we be more efficient with emails? And that's, I'll get calls, Aaron, can you take the phone call or the phone number off of the website? No, we can't take the phone number off of the website. Would your sales department do that? In most cases, no, right? But that's one of the biggest questions that I get all the time. And the answer I give to them is, hey, we need to take a page out of the sales department's playbook. What do they have that you don't have? And one of the biggest things is a text to chat feature. And we created our own text to chat tool, Parts Messenger Pro, that we have created for the parts industry, for the e-commerce space. And we're able to reduce phone calls significantly. And consumers, right? We're all consumers. We're all buying things online, and in a lot of cases, we don't want to pick up the phone and call, and we want to multitask as someone behind the keyboard, and it's easier for them. They feel more comfortable communicating in that space than maybe on the phone and maybe asking what would be perceived as a silly question, right? So consumers are actually using it a lot more, and they feel comfortable utilizing a text-to-chat tool. And then our partners are able to now handle 5-10 different conversations at once, rather than having to handle just one phone call at a time. So we're able to give back, hours upon hours of time to our partners by integrating this tool on your e-commerce website. So big questions. How can we generate more sales? How can we get more time back? And if we can get more time back, we can generate more sales, because we can focus on the customer experience. The tools like a text-to-chat tool helps increase conversion rate, creates a better user experience, and then it gives your parts counter guys and your parts team more time to focus on other day-to-day operations as well.
Well, I want to talk to you and ask you more about the text-to-chat widget. I love the name Parts Messenger Pro. Aaron, I think you've got a game changer at OEM Interactive, and I've not seen anything like that before mentioned anywhere in Fix Ops. Before I do, this e-commerce version of parts has entirely changed the parts game, because the whole parts business has changed. Years ago, people would come into the front counter, and they'd order the parts, and they do it in person, or it started on the phone as well. But really, that's all changed now with e-commerce, and you're leading the charge on that at OEM Interactive. Tell us about that, because the solutions that you are providing dealers to get them into that game is really revolutionizing the whole business.
Yeah, Ted, we've OEM Interactive was started about 7-8 years ago at this point, probably about 7. And obviously the times have changed, right? And a lot has changed since we've gotten into the space, and we've listened to our partners, and listen to their pain points. We continue to listen to their pain points and trying to create a better experience for them so that they can grow their departments, their online sales. We work with a lot of different SaaS providers out there, like your Revolution Parts. We've got a great relationship and a great rapport with those guys over there. They've got a great solution. Simple Part, your normal e-commerce platforms like Shopify, Magento, all those tools. There's a different solution for everybody's needs, right? Everybody has different needs, and we try to point them and drive them in the right direction. And with Parts Messenger Pro, that has really just changed the overall user experience, both once again on the front end to the consumer facing side, as well as on the on our partner side, and how they're handling and addressing the questions that the consumers have. Because let's face it, a lot of consumers are not that savvy with how to with car parts, and it's not like buying a pair of shoes. It's not like buying maybe a computer online. There's hundreds of thousands of parts for all these different vehicles, and they're just, I always say they're a little bit illiterate in that space. So if we're able to give them an outlet where they can ask those questions and feel free to not feel insecure about asking those questions in a format that they are really comfortable with via text to chat, they're going to be more susceptible to are more willing to engage in those conversations, rather than picking up the phone and going or looking at things and going, you know what, I don't know if I want to pick up the phone and call. I don't know how comfortable I'm going to feel, and that happens a lot. And so once again, when we started implementing this Parts Messenger Pro tool, we saw conversion rates skyrocket on our partners' websites, and the sales went up, time went back to our partners, and it's been a win-win across the board.
I like what you said at the beginning of our conversation, because I can relate to it. It's so true. Can you take the phone number off the website for parts? Because you're right, sales would never even think of doing something like that, because they want all those calls to come in. But I can understand exactly what you're saying, because parts is an entirely different thing. People are going to have questions. There's a lot of questions surrounding that. And now that we're in the e-commerce game, people want to have those questions answered. So really, with your new text to chat widget, Parts Messenger Pro, that would allow the parts department to have multiple communications at one time and be able to address all those questions, and actually free the staff up to be able to do what they do best, which is sell those parts. And also, if you will, train the customer, to be able to ask those now in an entirely new format.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it does, Ted. And if you look at the amount of man hours that's spent on the phone, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and start multiplying that by per week, per month, per year, you're literally spending tens of thousands of dollars for people to be on the phone handling these calls. And in a lot of cases, the parts department or the partners that we work with that have an e-commerce solution that are selling online, they're potentially dealing with more customers than the sales department and or the service department on a daily basis. And it's really kind of hard to think about it that way. There a lot of times the sales department's just dealing with customers in that area, right? In e-commerce, we're dealing with customers all over the country, potentially all over the world. So it's a much bigger pond that they're playing in, and they're having to deal with more customers than, like I said, than potentially the sales department or the service department. So we have to make things more efficient, and you don't want to tie guys up on the phone all the time. So this really, for $150 a month, right, we're able to save tens of thousands of dollars in man hours per year, and increase your sales, your conversion rates on your e-commerce websites, and and once again, create a way better user experience for the customer. Now, customers are smart, and if they do have a question and they do want to get somebody on the phone, they'll find the number and they can pick up and call. But hey, that's all fine, and your team is now better prepared to handle those calls, and they've got a little bit more time to answer those questions and not rush them off the phone. Or what I hate, and I hate to say hate, but is when you call the parts department and it's like, such and such automotive parts, can you hold please? And you're just like, nobody wants that. But it happens, right? But it's not creating a great user experience. And somebody's on the other end of that line that's trying to get through, trying to ask a question. They might be on a time crunch, and if you offer a tool like text to chat, they can put in their information. It goes into the dashboard. You get the notification. Our partners get the notification. They can answer that, and it goes right back to the customer's phone, and they can respond back at their leisure, right? They're answering things on their time, and instead of having to sit in front of the computer or sit on hold, So,
Aaron, I love it. Now I realize also that Parts Messenger Pro is but one tool, okay, in the toolbox that you provide dealers. So if a dealer is watching this, or a parts manager, fixed operations director, let's say they're into e-commerce, okay, and parts, or they've been looking at it and thinking about getting in, who contacts you? And at what point in the dealership's parts journey are they at? Are they already into e-commerce? Are they just thinking of getting in? How do you help them, and how do you help them get started, with this entire process?
Yeah, great question, Ted. So we work with partners that are at all different stages, right? And we work with partners that have been in the e-commerce space for years and are generating hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars a month in revenue. And they're like, hey, we're looking to go from here to here, or just change things up. Can you work with us? Absolutely. There's always room for growth, and even if you might be doing, say, $500,000 a month, and we can come in, work with you, try to work with just your profitability and try to get you to generate more profitability. It's not necessarily about the volume per se, but being more profitable. And we work with a lot of partners on that level to get them to be more profitable. We'll work with people who are just wanting to explore the space and get into it for the first time. And they're trying to just generate maybe $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in sales. So it really runs the gamut. Where our team is very experienced in this space. And we have, like I said, we've got team members that have been in the fixed ops space, understand how e-commerce works, how the different manufacturer programs work. That's really beneficial. A lot of our partners, that new partners that come to us never thought about co-op. And we're like, hey guys, like we can co-op this for you, and work with them to, get those benefits. But, we work with marketing, managers, fixed ops directors, parts managers. It really runs a gamut, and the different solutions that we have at OEM Interactive, we can, we really help you focus on selling more parts and increasing profitability, creating a better user experience through our marketing and our marketing efforts. Parts Messenger Pro is a great solution, add-on solution for your parts website that can help you, once again, increase conversion rates, cut back on your parts team's time. That's more money that gets brought back down to the bottom line for you guys. And we've got a lot of other things on the horizon. 2024 is going to be a hopefully a big year for us. We're excited to make a lot of announcements, and so a lot of things to come.
We're speaking today to Aaron Waters. He's the president of a company called OEM Interactive. They are in the parts, in the fixed ops space, in the marketing space. Aaron, I can't tell you how many companies over the years come to us at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and they claim to be in the fixed ops space or in the service or parts, but they're really not. They're in the variable space. And you are entrenched. You've got a staff, you've got a team with retail experience on parts and fixed ops. You know the arena, you know the terrain. Like you just said, you're helping dealers even with co-op and things of that sort. So there's a lot of guidance that you offer that bring a whole lot to the table. Last question for today. Here we are, middle of November, like you said, maybe another 6-7 weeks left in the year. And then here we are in 2024. Any other time-saving techniques, tools, tricks that you or your team can recommend to become more efficient, before our dealers and our audience reach out to you?
Ted, that's once again, the great question. I think that, from a leadership standpoint, one thing that we've implemented here at OEM Interactive is more of a standard operating procedure for how we manage across the board. And especially in the e-commerce space, it can get a little bit, maybe chaotic because you've got all these orders coming in, emails, got to answer phone calls, checking to see if these parts or accessories are now available. We've created something here at OEM that I say to all of our team members. I'll say, give me your 5. And what does that mean? We've tried to, there's all these different things and tasks that people are having to do on a daily basis, but you sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed with that. And what's happening is they're not as efficient with their time, and they're doing a little bit here and a little bit there. So we've taken this wide kind of view approach, and I just want to know what your 5 top priorities are. And not all of them can be hot priorities. But we've got 5, and I want to hear what your 5 are. And this is a standard operating procedure across the board with any team member. It's how our managers manage their team. And it has been a game changer for us. We've become super efficient. And if individuals are out sick or on vacation, whatever it might be, it's a simple conversation. Hey, Dan, give me your 5. Hey, Aaron, give me your 5. I've got my 5. And when I have meetings with team members, I let them know what my 5 are. And that has created transparency for us, has created efficiency for us. It's created a game-changing kind of prioritization. We work with our team to maybe reprioritize what should be maybe a high level or a low level priority. And we're working together to troubleshoot these priorities. So that has been a big game changer for us. And I think it can be, and I mention it because I think it can really be integrated at different levels and throughout different industries. So, I think that is something that, maybe you guys can work on and put into your day-to-day and think about.
Love it. Super. Everybody, if you're in the parts space, in the fixed ops space, you want to reach out to OEM Interactive. This is what they do. They'll help you become more efficient and more profitable. And they really know e-commerce, and they know marketing, and they know this subject matter. Aaron, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving coming up next week.
Thank you, Ted. I really appreciate that. And right back at you and the viewers out there. We want to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. We're extremely thankful for everything, and we're extremely thankful here at OEM for our people, once again, our partners, and as I always say, our people, our partners is our purpose. So I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. God bless, and I hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
These folks are a game changer, everybody. OEMinteractive.com. You can see Aaron's email scrolling across the bottom of the screen, awaters@OEMinteractive.com. Reach out to them, find out more about Parts Messenger Pro and all the great things they're doing for dealers around the country. They're in a fantastic space. Aaron Waters, everybody, from OEM Interactive, here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks, Ted.
Hi there. My name is Aaron Waters. I'm the president and founder here of OEM Interactive, the digital marketing firm that specializes in online parts and accessory sales. At OEM Interactive, our philosophy has always been very straightforward. Our people, our partners is our purpose. Our team is built of experts not only in marketing and advertising, but also in fixed operations. Our expertise and strategies are proven to supercharge your online parts and accessory sales. Sound good to you so far? Great. Head on over to OEMinteractive.com to learn more about partnering with us. OEM Interactive. Sell more parts today.
Filmed live in Dearborn, Michigan, we've got the #1 automotive salesperson in the world on an interview with Ted Ings, Sarah Van Tyne, and Sophie Jordan Collins.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Van Tyne here with Ted Ings and Sophie Jordan Collins, and we're in Dearborn, Michigan with one of the legends in automotive.
That's right, Sarah. We are here at Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac with our friend Reda, the #1 automotive salesperson in the world who holds the world record with 1,582 vehicles sold in a single year. Ali, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you for having me, and welcome to Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac.
Yeah, great honor to meet you in person. We've talked before, and but here we are.
Yes, we have. The honor is mine.
You know, coming in here today, Ali, meeting you, meeting the staff at the dealership and your staff, you know, there is something different here. You could feel it as you walk through both the Chevrolet and Cadillac showrooms. I've referred to it before as an attitude of gratitude. There's something magical about that, and the humble way in which you conduct business. Talk to us about that, because that's really your trademark and part of your brand.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for a lot of things. I'm very thankful for the industry that I'm part of. I'm very thankful for the owners of the dealership that provide us a beautiful facility and empower us to grow. And I'm extremely thankful for the community that I belong to that supports and loves us every day. So it's blessings. I'm so grateful for all of those parts to take part of my success.
And seeing you here in person, there's really no substitute for it, because there is so much happening and swirling around you during the hours that the business is open. Tell us a little bit about that, because that is different and it is very special.
Yeah, it's controlled chaos a lot of times. So it's a lot of fun, and we have fun, and we're constantly busy, but we want to make sure that every customer understands that we're focused on them and only them. So we do slow time down certain situations, but if you look at it from the outside, it looks like controlled chaos.
Ali, so what we're really here to learn about is the secret handshake of the business.
Yeah.
Can you show us?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, a lot of people ask that. What's the secret handshake? What's the secret sauce? And to me, it's really intention. It's what's your intention. When I greet somebody, what is my intention of greeting that person? And a lot of my customers, I greet them with hugs, and my intention is to help and serve them. That's the secret handshake. That's the secret sauce is your true intention from why you're there.
And to follow that up, what type of mindset is necessary?
Mindset is thrown around like so loosely throughout our industry, and everybody's always talking about what is your mindset, what type of mindset do you have to be. I carry a mindset, an infinite mindset, right? There is no, in my industry and with my staff, and I talk about this all the time, is I have no beginning and I have no end. And what that means is you have to have an abundance of mindset of, I'm here to serve, I'm here to help. I want to be positive. I want to be grateful. I want to show my gratitude towards my clients, my community, my industry. And, having a positive mindset is very important, but understanding what does that really mean? And people use that so loosely, but you have to start with loving what you do, loving the people that you serve, and having an infinite mindset where there is no beginning and there is no end.
Let's talk a little bit about that infinite mindset. You've got a great story. You told us some of that in the past and this morning, before we got started today. Tell us the Ali Reda story. How did you get into the business? What got you here? And I know we've met a great teacher along the way that's been a mentor and teacher of yours as well.
Yeah. So, I started in 2001, just like everybody else, by accident, right? Everybody starts in the car industry because they wanted to earn a little bit more money and they wanted to, get a better life. And a friend of mine was in the car business at the time, and he was selling cars. And I was working at a warehouse that I was there for 10 years. And I looked and I said, my next 5 years look pretty much the same. So I wanted something more. And it wasn't so much just the car industry. I wanted to get in some type of sales. And I thought, a friend of mine was working at car sales, and I asked him about it and absolutely loved it. He told me the kind of money he was making. I'm like, ooh, you're making more than me. I said, that might be a good idea for me. So I explored the car industry. He actually set me up with an interview with his manager, which was at Bill Wing Chevrolet here on the other side of town. But since then, that dealership had closed. But that was back in 2001. I interviewed there. I also interviewed for real estate. So I did both of them, but my energy and my heart really pulled me into the dealership. And I felt like that was something I really wanted to do. And the manager hired me on the spot. And, I took that leap of faith because I was comfortable where I was. 10 years working at a warehouse, and, it was two brothers that owned it. I was kind of third in line. I was very comfortable. And, to break out of that comfort level and to take a chance really changed the trajectory of my future.
You didn't start off selling 100 cars a month, okay? Tell us a little bit about the backstory. And I think it's important to also tell the story of, what you believe you can actually make happen.
Yeah, that, believing in what's possible really is what changed the my business. So in 2010, I had to start over because the dealership I was working at was a wind down dealer. And that dealership closed down, and then I started back over here at Stanford. That was the same year I met Damien Boudreau, who's a personal coach and a training coach. And, up until that point, I was doing great. I was selling 30 cars a month. I was doing, built my business up. And after meeting Damien,
and by the way, 30, as far as I know, has always been in our industry. Like, that's the number. There's 30 days in a month. If you can do 30, you're sort of at the top.
That's elite. In our industry, it's elite. But the industry had lied to us for so many years and said that 30 is elite. They said 30 is the ceiling, right? They said there's 30 days. There's only so many hours throughout the day that you can actually sell a vehicle. And the industry had lied to us and said 30 is elite. So when you're stuck at 30, it's because everybody around you was telling you 30 is the dumper. And I meet Damien, and Damien talks about a guy doing 60, and then talks about a guy doing 50. And he completely shifted my mindset and my belief system on what is actually possible. And not until that moment did I ever believe that there was more to the industry. There was more sales that could be had. And so Damien started talking about other people. And, I'm a believer. Somebody's doing it. It's possible. And when he unlocked that level in my mind, that what's possible, everything changed. Everything changed. And understanding that there was more. And today, I still understand that there is more than what I've achieved.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because Damien has also told us the story. You went to a class that he was teaching. I remember him saying that you took a lot of notes. He goes, there's this young guy, and he's writing down everything I'm saying. I must be having a great day, okay? And there's Ali coming up to me during the break saying, hey, is that story true about this person who sold 50, 60, 100 cars? And he said, yeah. Okay, and at the time, so you were doing about 30. So take us through that shift, if you will, that mind shift, and how you got, because it didn't happen overnight.
No, it didn't happen overnight. And I'll tell you, God bless my manager, Scott Montgomery, at the time, because Damien, what he didn't tell you is I did not want to go to that seminar. I was busy that day, and I had 2 or 3 deliveries, and my manager, Scott Montgomery, at the time says, I signed you up for a seminar, and you're going to seminar. I'm like, I'm not going to seminar. What is he going to teach me, right? I'm already doing 30. I'm thinking that I'm already there. What more can he teach me? And he's like, no, you're going to a seminar. And I remember him grabbing the deals out of my hand and saying, you're not delivering another car until you go. And he said, besides, it's here at the dealership, but it was in the back room. It's not like I had to go anywhere, right? So I'm like, all right. So I go to the seminar, and here's Damien, and he starts talking about relationship selling. And he starts talking about, like you said, people doing 50 and people doing 60. And I'm thinking, I'm doing 30, and these people are out there doing 60. What am I doing wrong? So he starts hitting on all these topics about relationship selling, and a lot of the stuff that I was already doing, but I wasn't aware that those are actually things that you can learn, things that you can enhance. And until he opened up my mindset of thinking that there's more and talking about these people. So I started taking notes. I'm just writing like everything he's talking about. I'm like, wow, this stuff is really good. And mind you, that was the first seminar I ever went to. I never went to any other seminars before. So, thankfully, Scott Montgomery at the time had forced me to go to the seminar. And that's what a good manager should do, because he should understand that there's more to what a salesperson potentially thinking. And I did go to him after the seminar. I'm like, hey, is that true? Did that guy really sell 60? And he says, we'll call him right now if you want. And I'm like, I would love to call him. So, he got on the phone with Greg, and he's like, this guy's real. So at that point, my complete mindset shifted to a completely different belief system from what I was lied to through the industry. And from that point on, there was really no stopping, because I just always felt there was more.
So in the months that followed, I know you told the story. You went from 30 to, what was it? Was it 40? Was it 50? How did you get there?
Yeah, so I went from 30, then I started doing 45. And then the first time I hit 60, because so Damien had me do an exercise and said, write down your goal and write down what you really believe that you can do. And what he said that Greg was doing 60, I wrote 60. So the first time, and it might have been maybe like 3 months. It wasn't that long. It was maybe 3 months later, I actually hit 60, and I never did 50. So I hit 60, so I called Damien, and I'm like, Damien, I did 60. And he's like, all right, that's good. He goes, well, what's your next number? And I'm like, what next number? I did 60. You talked about a guy doing 60. I did 60. And he said, well, what's your next number? And I says, I don't know. I never gave that any thought. And he said, what's your next number? He said, well, you figure it out, call me back. And he hangs up. And I'm thinking, well, I just did 60. I'm happy. I'm thinking I just did 60. So I had to call him back, and I told him 72 was the next number, because I figured I could get to that next level. So a few months go by, and I hit 70. So I called him back. The same conversation. He's like, what's your next number? And this went on for every single time I hit a new level. And Damien was telling me, eventually I started calling my mom first. Because I knew that she would be happy for me. I knew I wasn't calling this guy anymore, So, but that's what a good manager, that's what a good coach does, is he pushes you to the limits to get to that next level. He opened up my mind to what's more. And those magic phone calls continued for years.
Wow. You got to 100 at some point.
Got to 100.
And you didn't stop there?
No, because every time Damien and I would break down my process, would break down what went right, what went wrong. We'd understand, how do we get to 100? What do we do that felt right? And how do I enhance it? What do we do that wasn't good? What can I knock out of the process? So we were always refining the process so I can get to that next number. And we did that for years and years.
Let's talk about the process, because you have told us, and I've heard Damien say this as well, that your process has changed. As the numbers went up, and you went from 30 to 45 and up to 100, that process became a little different, because different things became important to you, and you realized things that maybe were a little bit less important. Tell us about that.
Yeah, of course. At every level, your process has to change. At every level. So somebody starting out doing 10 and 12, they have to do different things to earn that business. They have to do different things throughout the sale process, different things with the client base that you won't have to do when you get to like 30. And then when you get to 50, then you refine that process again. The most important part of understanding this is understanding what is your process. And a lot of people just don't know what that is. And they just start going through your day subconsciously, not understanding that you can set up certain things to refine this process. And what I encourage a lot of salespeople to do is actually understand what is your process today, to understand how could you enhance it. It's an awareness piece. So a lot of times we just kind of go through the motions. Well, why don't you create the motions so you understand what's next? And that's what we started doing. So at every level, we did have to change process. At some point, I don't need to do demo drives. At some point, I didn't need to, figure out certain parts of, going over the car. There were certain things that I had to refine. At certain levels, I needed help. I needed an assistant. I need somebody to come in and say, okay, for me to get to that next level, I need somebody to fill out a deal jacket. There was things that weren't important for me to do, but important for the deal. So, filling out a deal jacket, remembering, did I get a copy of a driver's license? Did I get the insurance? Did I, there's all those little things that you should to have, but they weren't as important for me personally to do them anymore. So then you outsource it, and then I got an assistant. Another thing Damien kind of forced me to do, reluctantly, and but I was always, willing to try something to see how it worked out, and it's been such a blessing.
We want to ask you about those assistants and people now that you are bringing up in the industry. Before I do, you didn't stop at 100, okay? Well, what's the number? Okay, where did you end up going with this? What are the highest numbers been?
Well, in a month, 209 in a month has been my highest, which I've done twice. I did 202, then 209, and then I've done 32 in a single day twice. Done that, so that's been pretty incredible. 1582 is the highest yearly, but I'm always in the 1500s at this point. And our business after COVID and strikes and inventory and all this other stuff has refined itself, and we're always finding better ways of doing things, creating inventory. So there's a lot of different aspects of my business that's grown for us to maintain the success.
We're here today, everybody, at Stanford Cadillac Chevrolet. We're in Dearborn, Michigan. We're with Ali Reda, the #1 automotive salesperson in the world. I'm with Sarah Van Tyne and Sophie Jordan Collins. Ali, I've heard it said that everything in life is impossible until it's done, okay? And you've shown us that it's inevitable. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Records are made to be broken. All athlete records are made to be broken. And I look forward to paving the way for somebody else to come across and break that record. I feel like I would be a person responsible for somebody's success to inspire somebody to come after that record and to say, I can do things better and faster. Somebody's always going to figure out a better way of doing things and a faster way. And now with technology and everything else that you have, these more professionals coming into the industry, those records are made to be broken. And I hope I'm part of that inspiration for somebody to do that.
Well, Ali, it is incredible to hear your story. And, I'm thinking back to when I sold cars, and I look at salespeople today and thinking about salespeople today entering the industry. And there's a lot of questions right now. There's a lot of changes in digital retail. Do you still think it's possible for someone? How would you inspire someone that's new to the business, that's coming in? How would they get to 100 cars a month? Is it still possible?
Oh, it's absolutely possible. And I can do better than just talk about it. I'm in the middle of proving it. I have a salesperson that I hired 4 years ago. His name is Carlos, and he's never been part of the industry. He owned a pool company, and I hired him to work under me as a salesperson. And we have the blueprint, and I'm taking everything that I've been taught throughout my career, and now at an accelerated pace, I'm passing it on to Carlos. And because we have the blueprint in place, and because we're talking about relational selling, Carlos only does 100% relational selling. So he does not take an internet lead, a phone up, a walk.
Wow.
Everything is relational. In August, it's been 4 years. In August, he broke his all-time record with 64 units. And last month, he did 50. So he's averaging 50 in 4 years, which it took me maybe 15 years to get to that point. So it is not only possible, it's actually happening. And you have to approach it with the right mindset. You have to understand what are the important parts of the industry that you have to look at to get to those levels. And relational selling is probably the biggest part of it. So it's definitely possible. And I encourage everybody to educate yourself. And the number one thing is to believe that it's actually possible.
And you've got more than just Carlos now. I remember when he had first come on working for you. We met some of your staff and your team, and I was amazed this morning. Those folks work for you. They're part of your department. Tell us what that's expanded to, because you've got more than just Carlos.
Yeah. So again, we're refining my process, refining my business internally. And, my goal is to have a set team that work under me. So we're launching the Ali Reda brand as we speak. So I do have Carlos. I have Mirna, who's been with me for 7 years. She's a hybrid. She handles everything from A to Z, and she's starting to sell as well. I have Sam, who's now been with me for a few months. He's already averaging 20 a month. I have another guy just hired a few months ago. He did 23 last month. He's at our Buick GMC store. He falls under the Ali Reda brand name. So we're trying to expand everything that we've learned over the years, and kind of put it under my Ali Reda wing, and kind of get us to that next level. That way, hopefully, maybe I can have maybe 10 people work under me, and I can scale back a little bit, maybe just be the greeter. We get to that point.
So you are actually, you have a brand, but you're formalizing it out to the Ali Reda brand, a brand within the dealership, correct, of your own.
Yeah, correct. And hats off to the owners of the dealership, the Stanfords, because they are a huge part of it. Because without owners like the Stanfords willing to listen, willing to try things, wanting to look at it as a partnership with the salesperson, empowering me to grow, none of this would be possible without the owners of this dealership. Because I know a lot of times they could have put obstacles in the way, and they could have stopped this a long time ago, and they saw the vision that I've seen, and I'm here where I am today because of them.
Let's talk about relationships and the community that you're in. First of all, how important are relationships to you and to anybody in our industry today?
It is the most important. It's not how important it is. It is the most important part of our industry. And without relationships, and now with social media, with somebody always finding that person, I have a guy, I have a girl, I have that person. Everybody wants to have that person in any industry. So it is the most important part of my success is my community, is giving back to community, is being embedded into your community to the point where everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows what service you have to offer and why you're doing what you do. And relationships are the key point of anybody start out in the industry, anybody now in the industry for years. If you are not building relationships throughout your community, you are not going to hit those ultra high success levels. It's not about transactional sales anymore. It is 100% relational in any industry, in any sales industry, especially in the car industry.
Ollie, it's incredible to hear all the different things that you're working on with your own personal brand and all of the ways that you're empowering and creating that infinite mindset with your team. So as you're thinking about 2024, we're thinking about end of this year, what in your career are going to be your primary areas of focus as you expand into next year?
It's really empowering others under my team to grow. I take more pride in celebrating Carlos and celebrating Mirna and celebrating those than the 1,500 cars that I've ever done. To me, changing the life of somebody else and empowering them to become better. And hopefully at some point they'll hire somebody under their wing to get them to the next level. So that is I think biggest accolade I can ever take is being able to empower somebody and change the trajectory of their future and their life based on what I believe they can attain.
So the young man who maybe didn't want to go to that training class 20-some years ago is now very much involved in personal growth and development and training. Sophie asked me this morning how I met you, and I think I met you through some of our friends at that Pinnacle Training Center that you're involved with, Jonathan Dawson, John Fairchild. Talk to us about the importance of things like that in order to be able to grow our careers.
It's educating yourself. It's exactly what I thought I didn't need. And somebody had said to me, no, you need to listen to this person, right? If you look at athletes, if you look at the best athletes in the world, whether it be team athletes or individual athletes, it could be Tom Brady, it could be Michael Jordan. Why do they have coaches? And why does their coach, Phil Jackson, have a coach? So why would we think that we're naive enough to think that we don't need proper training or we don't need coaching? And the idea of a coach or a manager is for them to see something that we can't see. It's for them to enlighten certain topics, certain areas of your business that you can say, oh, well, maybe let me try this and see if it works better. So having a training center to go to, having somebody as brilliant as Jonathan Dawson speaking about the industry and giving us pointers. When Jonathan Dawson talks, I literally take as much notes as possible because he is brilliant at what he does. And understanding that I have room for growth. I'm still learning and I still want to learn. So having those at your fingertips is pivotal for anybody's success. And if somebody is not taking advantage of it, what you're doing here, Ted, what you're doing is getting this information out to people. If they're not out there listening to it, if they're not out there absorbing it and understanding that, hey, how could I better myself? Then you're never going to hit those success levels. So it's extremely important for one starting out in the business or somebody that's been in the business for 22 years to continue to educate yourself and learn in better ways, in faster ways, and more efficient ways.
I want to ask you about that because a lot of folks say, Ted, here we are at a Fixed Ops Roundtable. Here's Ollie Reda, the #1 automotive salesperson in the world. What does that have to do with fixed ops? Yet I think it has everything to do with that. Talk to us about the future of what you see our industry, what's happening, how important fixed ops is in this message of yours.
It's so important because every department needs to understand that they need to work together collectively, right? Our goal is always the customer, right? Our goal is to make sure customers is satisfied with the product, is satisfied with the repair of a product. So having everybody on the same page, and that goes from the office down to the prep department, down to service, sales, because a lot of times, the service people think we're annoying because we're like pushing our customer over there, but we need to be that annoying person because we understand the importance of keeping that customer forever. And building a relationship means that I need to be involved in every part of the business. So if I have a customer and I take them over to service, and service needs to understand that, they need to reciprocate it. It's extremely important for all departments to understand what the other department does, why they do it, and then why it's so important to be on the same page. Extremely important. And far too many times they're separated. Office is separated from the sales department. Service is separated from the sales department. But it's extremely important for managers and owners to understand that having everybody collectively as one family is extremely important.
So, Ollie, you've obviously been so successful in the automotive industry, and I'm curious, as we close out here, do you have any advice for any young people out there considering a career in the automotive industry?
This is a gold mine. This is an absolute gold mine. So we are getting more professionals coming into the industry now than we've ever had. We're getting people from other industries, from the real estate market, from mortgage market, coming in inquiring about the auto industry. And it's because of things like what you guys are doing. It's shedding light on our industry, and we're getting a lot more professionals. And this is a gold mine if you treat it properly, if you cater to it, if you understand the possibilities of community, of relational selling. We talked about it earlier. Ted asked me if I would want my son to enter into the industry, and I actually have an appointment with him at Northwood so he can tour the facility there. And I would love and be honored for him to follow the footsteps that I have if he wants to. But it is a gold mine if you treat it properly.
Well, Ollie, great honor meeting you.
The honor is mine.
And you set an amazing example for everybody in the industry. So again, very humbled to have you here. Ollie Reda, everybody, #1 in the world, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Pow! Blast! Zam! We're back at the Fixed Ops Roundtable Automotive Avengers event.
Let's hear it for the dynamic duo. Please welcome Les Silver of Dynatron Software and Mohan Sethi of Collabtic.com.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It is a high honor when we welcome back Les Silver of Dynatron Software to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Les's legendary presence in our industry is felt throughout all the segments of the event. And Les, it's great to see you back here at the event.
Ted, you're too kind. Thank you very much.
Well, it's all true. And I know that when you introduced the roundtable to somebody that we're about to meet, Mohan Sethi, it's not by accident and it's by careful design. So Les, I'll let you take away the show from here. And again, great to have you back.
Well, it's hard to believe that we're at the end of November. It seems like 2023 has just flown right by. It's been a very eventful year for us at Dynatron. We've had a heck of a growth spurt over the last year, over 3,000 dealers now involved in our program. And, we had about a 40% growth year over year. So it's been a really terrific time. Part of where I'm spending most of my time is working with entrepreneurs that are getting started with cool ideas. And I've had the chance, as you know, Ted, to introduce several of them to the roundtable over the last year or two. Mohan is the latest in that group, and Mohan will talk about what Collabtic is doing once I turn the meeting over to him. But to get started with, there's a slide that I often use in introducing the challenges in growing service revenue. If we could put that one up, Mohan, you're my slide clicker. The driver of service revenue is the amalgamation of several key factors. The first one, click Mohan, is the quality of the work that is being produced in the shop. And quality has two aspects to it. One is technical. Do you fix cars right the first time, which is hugely important to the customer. But the second is the quality of the customer experience. And if you fix it right, but you piss the customer off, pardon my language, in the process, it really isn't going to allow you to grow your revenue. So you need to be focusing both on, can I fix it? And can I fix the customer's experience in a way that they feel happy to come back? The second factor is sales. Revenue is driven from the sales that are made in the shop. In the car business, in the service business, sales are a combination of labor, which is up next. And labor is driven by three factors: how many customers you have, are you retaining the customers you've got, how many hours are you selling per customer, and what are you charging per hour? And it's the combination of those three things that yield your labor sales. Along with your labor comes some amount of parts. So there's actual parts, and then there's the fluids and accessories that also form part of the repair order. Finally, the third component, and the one that I've been focusing on mostly this year, is the area of capacity. Because it doesn't matter your quality, doesn't matter your sales. If you can't get the work done, you've got a problem. And capacity is driven by three factors. One is the number of technicians that you have. The second is how efficient those technicians are working. And the third is the hours of operation that you have in your shop. So these are the three components of the drivers of service revenue. They are interrelated. If you mess up in quality, that will have impact on sales. If you can't get the capacity done, that will impact on quality. And it's like spinning plates where you have to focus on all three always, making sure that they're all not wobbling and falling off the stand. So those are the areas that are determination of the quality. Balance is the key in all of this. Are you able to balance the operation and continually growing sales? We know that typically the dealers that you're working with or working for always want more. And if you want more, how do you get it? You improve the quality, you improve the sales, you can improve the capacity. The reason why capacity has become so important is because there is definitely a shortage of technicians. So that's a difficult challenge that has to be overcome. The efficiency of the technicians, given the state of the automobile, the systems, the electronics in the car these days are just enormously complex. So being able to get to and diagnose problems quickly to drive more hours per technician is what it's really all about in driving capacity. That's the reason that I got so excited about talking to Mohan and what's going on in his company, Collaptic. And I'd like to turn it over to Mohan for a discussion a little bit about his background, because it's very impressive, and what he's doing at Collaptic. Mohan, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Les. Appreciate it. And Ted, thanks for having me. And I completely agree. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be working with Les for sure.
He's got a great track record.
Absolutely. And I, quite frankly, I discovered more of that track record as we started working together and, continued down our path. So it's been an interesting journey of the experiences and the people we worked with and the commonalities we've had, and just the learnings from, Ted's experience. From Les's experience over the years. We uncovered some interesting common themes going all the way back to, which I'll take it into, when I started my career at SPX, designing scan tools, working primarily with OEMs, and pretty much the work we did at the time was developing tools and information that went into dealerships. I had a pleasure working with a majority of the OEMs in the world, and with the dealer groups and the dealers and the technicians at the dealerships, and that led to a lot of understanding, a deeper understanding of the service business, whether it was front of the shop when the ROs get written to the back of the shop where the work gets done, and everything that happens between the dealer and the OEM. And that's what brought us to starting Collaptic, which with Collaptic, of course, the world was a bit bigger for us. We were focused both on the aftermarket and dealers alike in terms of what Collaptic was doing. So with that said, Collaptic essentially is a automotive service platform. We set out to do something that the other platforms were not able to do because everybody was developing something very focused on a certain use case, or folks were developing things that were too broad to, when they were deployed, to almost to a scale of a shop management or a dealer management system. But we found that there were companies struggling with, how do we fill the gaps which can help us make our service process more efficient, can help our technicians become more efficient. And so we found use cases, features, and functions that put together, turned it into Collaptic. But our focus remained the same. How do we see what our customers have, and how can we make that process more efficient, hence making the technician more efficient, which goes back into the capacity aspect, what Les brought up. Collaptic's got really four main things that, if you think about the platform. One is our, what kind of customers we work with. We've got customers, everything from OEMs to companies who provide tech line support, companies who do mobile support, which is the trucks, which for mobile service.
Sure.
We've got companies who provide data as a subscription, scheduling and dispatch, collaboration across their technicians. There are some companies who are laser focused on just building that rich enterprise knowledge base so they can gather that from their technicians, which can further help the issue of either its lack of training or limited availability of skilled technicians. So approaches like this that can help, which basically takes us into a variety of workflows we've developed to make that process more efficient. How are you communicating across the organization? How are you stitching together certain processes that they can help you do something better, or get the technician more information than what they had before? Still living inside the system you already may have, but there could be gaps which Collaptic helps fill. There are some companies who hire us simply for just helping better manage their information so we can serve up the information not just better, but faster. Because speed, we learned the hard way that we thought, I thought my kids had, they were low on patience Wait till you put a piece of software in the hands of a technician. I mean, there is no patience for delay or slowness. And so we focused a lot on making that whole experience efficient for them so they can do the job right and, hopefully even do something that favors them in terms of they can turn more cars in the allowed time and make more money. And we handle a lot of data, everything from service information to confirmed fixes, to operational data like dispatching and scheduling, to knowledge bases, to internally created data within our platform, such as best practices, or standard operating procedures, onboarding procedures. There's a lot of data that we house in the platform. And then some companies also take that and turn it into a revenue stream. That could be training, that could be subscriptions, that could be some of the smaller companies also use us as a payment method for their ROs, especially the ones that provide virtual tech line. So we have an element of an e-commerce into our platform as well. So those are the variety of things Collaptic is doing for customers. Now, if you put that in metrics, okay, well, how big or what's the spread of it? Today, we have about over 30,000 techs worldwide across our customer base. Our customer base is primarily enterprise customers, but they in turn have their technicians. We do span across OEMs and aftermarket enterprise customers. Given the sensitivity of availability of data, our uptime requirements are high, security, all elements of the, if you're housing data for enterprise customers, there's a lot of strings that come attached with that. Thousands of workflows that help you make the process more efficient. And sure enough, we have millions of records of data that make the technicians get access to the information they need quicker. Now, it's actually that element of it which we further drilled in with Dynatron, with Les, to see, okay, given that we're doing this, how can we further make the process of getting the vehicle fixed quicker or more effectively and make the customer experience more pleasant? What else can we do? And that's where we partnered with Dynatron. And we're now we set up a system where we're getting a lot of data in our system and converting that into confirmed fixes and now offering it to the open market. Whether it's a technician, an enterprise, they can actually now come into Collaptic and subscribe to what we call Collaptic fixes.
Okay.
Today, we have about 5 million confirmed fixes on the platform. And these fixes come from a variety of sources in the industry. And our plan is to reach 10 million or more by end of the year. We're adding about 250,000 fixes at minimum every month to just as our growth pattern. We'll continue to do that into the next year and year following year. It's a constant refresh of data. And the way we set it up, that the coverage of the fixes we provide are all the way from 81 to 2024. We see fixes coming in even for newer vehicles, which are just being launched for the model year 2024. And we lay this out in a way that they can see what the fixes are, and we have a screen, we'll talk about that. But we're now building on top of this of things that in a lot of cases our users would almost expect, which is give me the probabilities of these fixes. And then we're already got a team working on leveraging generative AI. So it's not just the searches, but it's also how you can take that data and turn into conversational methods for technicians to ask questions and get responses back, so that instead of searching, they get exactly what they need at the point of what they're servicing. And then we are also opening up APIs to, what best to integrate this directly into scan tool providers, so that if you read a code, read a particular data, and then serve up the potential of the fix right there on the scan tool itself. So that's we were excited to be launching this. We just launched this about a week ago. And then what the technicians get to see, and this is just a sample, we thought we'll bring this up on the screen. When they see a confirmed fix, typically the question comes, well, what do we actually see what do you mean by confirmed fix? Well, they get to see what the customer concern was. They get to see how the technician triaged the issue and arrived at a resolution. They'll also see, we'll sniff out if there were error codes or DTCs in the process. We'll pick those out and highlight them clearly. If there was a part number or a part replaced, the part numbers get highlighted clearly as well, which sort of gives a pretty good idea that, okay, here's a part that I'm about to replace. let me validate again with fixes that is that the right one? This will help them validate that. And then we do a lot of cross-referencing between year, make, models and codes. Show me all the fixes where this code was there, so they can triangulate to be sure when they're about to replace a part or spend the next 20 minutes looking into something, there's a higher probability that it'll resolve it. And that, again, goes back to efficiency because they can do it right, and the customer experience because they'll get their vehicle back at the promised times. The system is available both on web and mobile. And what we are already made available is a free trial. This is our little shameless pitch here. And anybody who wants to try out the system can sign up at collaptic.com, and you can or download the app, and you get a free 5-day trial to just take it for a spin, see what you think, and then you can sign up. So that's what we've been up to, and just been a pleasure to be working with Les and Lee and the Keeps and Dynatron team to move this forward.
And Mohan, I saw on the previous slide that mobile version off to the right. So this is available. So the technician using the mobile device can access it easily there as well. Yeah.
And the nice thing is the mobile apps and the web, these are pretty mature applications because we've been doing this for a few years now, but it's just this product launched now. So we did some enhancements, but yeah, you can download it and it'll clearly highlight the fixes area, and you can do a quick sign up and go right in. And we actually also have a partnership with NASTF. And so we'll give a little extra, some incentive for some of the NASTF users to be able to access Collaptic fixes as well. So,
Les, if I can come back to you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Anytime, and it's not every day, Mohan, that Les introduces something new, okay? But he really gets his arms around something and asks a lot of good questions, and that really piques the interest of the people watching the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Les, what were some of the things that excited you about Collaptic, and what got you excited at this time? Because I know there's a lot here.
Well, you hear hours, and that's what you guys are talking about as the theme of this particular session.
Yeah.
How do you crank more hours? And the things that we're focusing on are things that will allow the technician to be more productive, to be more efficient, and more hours to be produced in the shop as a result.
Music to our ears. And Mohan, I see scrolling across the bottom of the screen is your URL, collaptic.com, and you've got your email on there as well. I know you and I are connected on LinkedIn, and fascinating what you're doing. And as Les said, the hours are really at the forefront for what a lot of folks are doing here at the Roundtable and on retail. So we're always looking for a better, more efficient way, Mohan, to do our jobs. And this looks very, very intriguing.
Yeah, and I say whether you're a technician in the service bay, whether you're a technician in a truck, or whether you're a remote technician on the phone, the hours count from all angles. And we're addressing all those use cases of whatever technicians they're supporting a technician or fixing a vehicle. We want to make that process more efficient.
Yeah, I love it. Everybody, Les Silver is the executive chairman of Dynatron Software. Mohan Sethi with us today with Les Silver, collaptic.com. A great new technology platform for our audience, dealers and partners alike to be able to utilize. So, gentlemen, thank you for your time today. And we're on the cusp of Thanksgiving. I want to wish you and your families a very happy Thanksgiving on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable community.
Thanks, Ted. Same to you and your family.
Thank you, Ted. Yep, likewise.
Les, you always have some great stuff. Okay, so we're very humbled that you would bring Mohan to the Roundtable and introduce him. And Mohan, congratulations to you on all the success you're having, and looking forward to hearing a lot more down the road in the near future.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to success, and also just working with very talented people in the industry. It's unbelievable, and that's where we're just it's been a lot of fun.
Unless, if I may, those numbers with Dynatron Software, 3,000 plus dealers, to see the growth over the last few years with Dynatron, and to hear just the organic things that dealers and managers tell us about Dynatron and how it's changed their business for the better. and how it's opened their eyes to the new opportunity. Congratulations to you on doing that, and again succeeding here in retail automotive.
Well, things we're most proud of, the return that we get for our customers and the ability to create. When we first met Ted, Dynatron had about a dozen people. We're over 200 now, and those are quality jobs that we're very pleased to be able to provide to the industry.
Yep, and you've got some great people there. So everybody, Les Silver and Mohan Sethi here today with us at the Fixed Op.
Opportunities for revenue growth are out there, and they're closer than you think. The problem is most service departments lack the time, software, and data to see these opportunities. They're in the dark. That's where we come in. We help shed light on revenue growth opportunities hidden within your data. Dynatron gives you the tools, coaching, and knowledge to maximize your service department revenue. From optimizing labor rates on maintenance and repairs to helping with manufacturer warranty labor rate and parts markup, our training and software gets you the most from your data. We illuminate these revenue opportunities with 3 fundamental solutions powered by our ROI suite and expert coaching. Price Smart. Our Price Smart solution drives additional revenue through price optimization. Charging the perfect price for services maximizes revenue while maintaining retention. Pricing compliance. Holding service advisors and technicians accountable to avoid costly mistakes that can lead to significant ELR and retention erosion. And parts and labor warranty filing. Price optimization and compliance prior to filing maximizes the process, which leads to larger revenue opportunities. Where other companies just file, we maximize and file. Sell Smart. Our Sell Smart solution is a customized, dealer-specific, technology-enabled sales training program for your service advisors and management team. It focuses on improving each advisor's revenue-generating potential with continuous improvement. Small but consistent changes add up to big results. Market Smart. With Dynatron's Market Smart solution, we analyze your service department data to develop custom, multi-channel marketing campaigns that target existing and new customers. We guide additional traffic to your service drive, resulting in tangible ROI. Powering these solutions is our ROI suite and expert coaching. We take your repair order data, process it through our proprietary algorithms, curate new data, and combine to find new insights. Then, our expert coaches guide you through our proven turnkey process to discover new opportunities and deliver results, ultimately seeing a 5x to 15x ROI each year you partner with Dynatron. Managing your service department is hard enough. You don't need another vendor. You need a long-term partner. Don't stay in the dark. Accelerate your service department revenue today. Visit DynatronSoftware.com.
Look to the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Jim Roche, CEO and founder of WarrCloud.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are in the heart of the batting order, and batting cleanup today is Jim Roche, the CEO and founder of WarrCloud. And Jim, I see you brought a colleague with you.
Thank you, Ted. Glad to be here as always. Good morning, everyone. Always a pleasure and very intimidating to follow Les Silver. But we're very glad to be here. Yes, Ted, with me is my colleague, a WarrCloud VP, Scott Berdelman. Scott will be helping me out in today's presentation. Not only has Scott worked with me previously at WarrCloud and at X-Time, but Scott has also multiple stints as a large dealer group multi-rooftop service director. So very glad to have him.
Scott, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted. And thank you, Jim.
Yeah, great honor to have both of you. I know when Jim Roche speaks, people listen, and today is no exception. You've got an amazing platform with WarrCloud, and Jim, I'm eager to hear and see what you've got in store for us. So if you would, take it away. The show is yours.
Thank you, Ted. Yeah, just a quick acknowledgement. You know, what we're going to talk about today, today's topic is all about the hours. And, you know, that is Mr. Tully Williams, his war cry. So that's part of what we'll focus on today. But before we get to hours, why don't we just spend a few minutes on what and who we are here at WarrCloud? Well, we are the first and only technology company that automates OEM warranty claims processing. We are a group of industry veterans, and remarkably, we have over 700 years of industry experience combined across everyone in the company. So we've got really, really deep expertise. Our AI-driven software captures every allowance, every tenth of an hour, every time. And we just passed 500 dealers, Ted, and still growing strong. So kind of seems like one of those right idea at the right time kind of things.
Congratulations. I know it's an overnight success that didn't happen exactly overnight, but you had the vision early, Jim, and here we are, 500.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It is, we are having a lot of fun. Our impact for dealers so far in 2023 is pretty remarkable. Year to date, we have processed 1.7 million claims, and those claims have over $700 million in claim dollar value for the dealer. Our close to submit time is 1.1 days, and our first time success rate is 94%. So if you're having any challenges with some of those key OEM metrics, we can help. And we work with all of the volume OEM brands, going down to and including volumes such as Porsche, Mitsubishi, and the like. So we can pretty much help everybody who's on the call. Well, we've talked about who and what. Let's just spend a few minutes about why is WarrCloud. You know, if you look at the history of warranty revenue for dealers, warranty grew over 38% in the run-up to the pandemic, averaging about 7.7% growth annually, which is whopping good growth. We are projecting almost 20% growth between now and the end of 2026. And there are two major things driving that growth, one obvious and one way not obvious. Well, the obvious one is we're going to sell millions more new cars as we go forward in time. And that means millions more warranty covered vehicles on the road, which accrues to more warranty revenue for the dealer. Interestingly, J.D. Power has recently published some information. They've been tracking the warranty costs on electric vehicles. And what they have found is that the first 12 months warranty cost on electric vehicles runs about 300% higher than internal combustion engines.
Wow.
Well, since there are nearly 150 new EVs coming to market over the next couple of years, we think that's going to drive a spike in warranty revenue for dealers as well, which is fantastic. The dealer's largest profit center has a built-in growth engine for the next couple of years. You know, I think that's yay team. But there are also some troubling aspects when it comes to OEM warranty, specifically in the cost of claims processing. Today, processing a claim on average consumes about 12% of your gross profit from warranty, and that's because it's all manual, pushing paper and doing data entry. Each claim on average takes about 11 minutes to process. There is zero in-house automation, and that creates a challenge. Additionally, what we are seeing is that the human resources that have historically done this work, you know, the OEM claims processing, are on the decline. They are leaving the workforce, and they're not being replaced by the younger generations. You only need to look at the want ads and the job boards, page after page after page of dealer looking for warranty administrators, and it'll continue to decline. Well, if you think about, wait a minute, Jim, you say that the demand for warranty claims processing is going up, while at the same time, the resources that do it, have done it historically, are on the decline. As you can see here, that creates a scalability problem, which is a problem in any situation. But when it is the dealer's fastest growing profit center or revenue stream in its largest profit center, why that really highlights the problem. And those are all of the reasons why we created WarrCloud. As I said, WarrCloud is the industry's first and only technology platform that automates claims processing. We reach into the DMS, extract the warranty ROs. We can accept other backup documentation from a variety of sources. And then what the system does is it looks through the RO, it adds anything that is missing, it corrects anything that is incorrect, and then it uploads that to the factory. It is a complete outsource. You are hands-free when it comes to the task of claims processing, and that leaves you available to do other things such as focus on the guest experience. Well, let's talk a little bit more about how that helps ours. And what I'd like to do is turn this over to Scott and have Scott walk us through a little bit more in depth about how WarrCloud helps ours. Scott?
Great. Thank you, Jim. So yeah, we're going to talk about optimizing your inventory of time, which of course is the only asset that a shop has. We know they're perishable. We know you cannot carry tech hours over to tomorrow, and the expiration date is at the end of today. So preserving and optimizing your bank of hours is key, and utilizing technology tools to uncover all the hours that you're entitled to is an important way to maximize the inventory of time. So how does technology find more hours? So a couple things. Additional times are never missed based on trim level and VIN patterns that exist. Second example, prepaid maintenance. We accurately reimburse the dealer based on model and engine size. Quick recalls. Every claim is submitted regardless of the value. So even if it's only a tenth for a reprogram or a flash, those claims are submitted. And lastly, admin allowances, often multiple on claims and oftentimes missed. So the volume and complexity of warranty is a huge challenge that presents itself to dealers. When you zoom in a little bit on the recalls, but maybe more importantly, the variance that exists within each one of those recalls, it has exploded, especially in the last 10 years, which creates a huge number of choices for a warranty admin to have to sort through and find the correct labor operation code for each one of those recalls. So OEM warranty is too vast for human memory, and WarrCloud's AI analyzes the warranty reparator by decoding the VIN and automatically applying applicable trim level labor, specific parts, and all eligible allowances. The speed and accuracy of cloud-based AI is unmatched with WarrCloud. We do a couple key things within our platform. We identify the complaint statement and look for keywords. We verify the technician's story that's presented on that reparator. We import parts directly on the RO, and in mere seconds, we correlate, we code, and complete the claim, all ensuring the compliance with the OEM. One specific example that we're going to show here is a General Motors recall for Takata airbag. It has a $20 admin allowance that's automatically captured. It also has additional flat rate time based on the model of the vehicle, as well as the trim level of the vehicle. So WarrCloud sweeps the corners to ensure that all eligible time is captured on every recall. So the end result, additional hours and more. The typical dealership will see an additional 103 hours per month.
Wow.
Which means more revenue, greater profitability, and lastly, improved technician satisfaction.
And we all know how important technician satisfaction is. Thank you, Scott.
Great job.
So WarrCloud's AI, put a different way, has been proven to increase the average dealer's warranty revenue by over 12%, which is about $142,000 a year, while simultaneously reducing the cost of claims processing by more than 50%. Since we process claims in roughly in a day, that greatly improves your cash flow. And so key to so many dealers is the OEM dashboard scores. Example, first time success, time to submit, time to close. We improve all of those so you stay in the green, you avoid those potential audits, and warranty claims processing is just sailing along as great as can be.
Wow.
So we moved quick, but that's just a quick overview of how we're using our AI to really bring improvements to that corner of the dealership operation. WarrCloud is an award-winning technology. Now you might say, well, you're the founder, of course you say that, but actually who says that is you. We were the best practice award winner for Ted's Fixed Ops Roundtable in 2021 when we first came to market. We then won the Navicon Cup for Best New Product in 2022. And I'm also super proud of the fact that we are an Automotive News PACE finalist in 2023. The PACE program recognizes and awards technology innovations in the automotive ecosystem. So thank you for that. Now, if it's okay with the group, we'll just turn to questions. I'll stop sharing and we'll see what's on everybody's mind.
Jim, I have a few questions, and I'll direct them to both yourself and Scott. By the way, great job with that. Very concise, very clear, and it really spells out our future in terms of what we're looking at the dealership in terms of growth and warranty, and how we're going to file for that. Scott, the AI that's built into your technology at WarrCloud, you don't miss anything. Okay, you're capturing all these little nuances, the $20 here, the $50 there. You're making sure it's captured, and you're doing it in a methodical way that does not involve the human, which is prone to missing those things. And you're making sure all that's captured, Scott. That's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. Yeah, certainly, the technology ensures that the dealer does receive every dollar, every allowance, every time that the OEM has outlined they do deserve for performing the repair. Where, to your point, right, the human being does leave room for error.
And Scott, how difficult is it for a dealer who has not outsourced this to get started on the WarrCloud platform? I mean, what are the steps typically that you take to onboard a dealer, and how does that go?
Ted, it's really sort of a light installation, if you will, because it's an outsource versus a tool the dealer uses or technology that the dealer has to install. Essentially what we do is obviously you sign an agreement, and then we will schedule a discovery call where we'll just walk through what's the best way that we can help. At what stage do you want us to pick up the ROs? And then we get the credentials both to the DMS and to the OEM, and then we start you up. Typically, we'll take a dealer live anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks after contract signing, which is pretty quick.
Jim, what do you foresee, in terms of our industry in warranty processing? Because, you've got all the stats, you've got a lot of great data there. But, how do you see that going, as we move into the future? I can't see anything that's going to stop WarrCloud.
Well, thank you, Ted. I mean, we are the first mover in this space. Our investors have told us, because they do a worldwide search, that we're the only people in the world currently using technology to automate claims processing. I'm not naive enough to think that no one will follow. I mean, it's a huge and important space, but it took us 7 years to build the technology. So I tell people that, if the next person who comes along is twice as smart as us, I guess we'll see him in 3.5 years. But what's really happening is, we are coming off of this fantastic run of profitability for dealers. But all of the old trends, we're getting kind of back to the normal, if you will, where we're going to see it harder to make money on used vehicles. We know that prices have dropped a little bit on used vehicles. Interest rates are up. The regulatory environment for F&I is tightening. And with the advent of EVs, if you think about service, two primary revenue streams, CP and warranty, it's going to be hard to grow warranty because of the fewer moving parts and the less maintenance in the EVs. So warranty is really the area where dealers need to look for growth. But generally speaking, I think what that means for the dealer environment is they've got to be looking at operationally where they can pick up efficiencies from technology use. And of course, WarrCloud helps in that significantly.
Dealers are looking real hard right now. The industry has changed. The business of retail has changed dramatically in the last 12 months. We knew it would, Jim. And, here we are in fixed operations, a great spot to be. And this is really a no-brainer to focus on that warranty, the warranty growth, and recovering those dollars. And Scott, one of the things I think we don't talk about enough at the Fixed Ops Roundtable is that improved cash flow, capturing that quickly and eliminating that gentleman that was in the picture that Jim had with the stacks of ROs and the stacks of papers, who goes on vacation typically, a couple weeks a year and maybe takes some time off or has some sick days. Scott, we recovered that money pretty quick.
Yeah, you're absolutely, based on our metrics that we're delivering for our dealers. And I think the other piece is, it ensures the dealer earns interest on their money and somebody else is not.
And keep in mind, Ted, that stack of paper that's on every warranty administrator's desk is actually a stack of uncashed checks. So you want to get those uncashed checks cashed and in the bank.
I seem to recall you telling me the story of how before you initiated and developed WarrCloud, that you were in dealership and you saw that as an opportunity and you saw that stack and you said, that's something I can help dealers with. And Jim, and Scott and your team, Jim, you've got a great track record, a great successful track record in our industry. So, you had the vision to see this early.
Well, thank you, Ted. I've been fortunate enough to work with some pretty amazing companies before WarrCloud, X-Time, before X-Time founded AutoPoint, and a few others prior to that. I've never done anything for over the last 35 years other than work with dealers to develop technology solution for fixed operations. And it's been a great ride, and we're having a lot of fun here, helping dealers with. It's not the most exciting thing to talk about. It's not digital retailing, right? Until we start talking about the importance of it, how to improve the gross, and then people lean forward and say, "Wait, what? Warranty?"
Actually, I got to say, you have made it exciting, Jim, because when you show these charts and you show these stats of where we're headed in the industry, it does get everyone's attention, okay? Especially with the EVs and the dollar amount involved there and the trends that we're seeing. So congratulations to you, 500 plus dealers and growing. I can't wait to see what it's going to be, in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. And what's the best way, Scott, if a dealer or a manager has some questions about how this will work for their dealership? What's the best way, Scott, for us to get a hold of you and of the folks there at WarrCloud?
Yeah, they can certainly email me at scott.berdelman@warrcloud.com, or feel free to reach out to my cell phone, 612-618-4176.
All right, I want to wish
always go to warrcloud.com. There's a button there, contact us or request a free analysis. And we love talking to dealers, and we'd love to hear from you.
These gentlemen are the real deal, everybody. All right. So on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I want to wish both of you, Scott and Jim, and Corey, who's not here today, and the rest of the team, a very happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families.
Thank you, Ted. And the same to you and yours, and to the audience.
Great.
Thank you, Ted. Same to you.
Everybody, Jim Roche and Scott Berdelman from WarrCloud here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted Ings, and welcome everyone to WarrCloud Jeopardy, where the objective is, as always, is to optimize your profit. Please welcome Corey Roberts and Scott Berdelman. Our board today, Category 1, Mission Impossible, Numbers Don't Lie, Man versus Machine, and with them, What's in it for me? Let's go to the board. Corey.
Jim, I'll take Mission Impossible for 100.
Mission Impossible for 100. Previously thought impossible, it is the only company that processes warranty claims in mere seconds.
Jim, who is WarrCloud?
That's correct. Scott.
Jim, I'll take Numbers Don't Lie for 200.
Dealerships use this solution to reduce warranty expenses by over 50% while simultaneously growing revenue 12.4%.
Who is WarrCloud?
Exactly.
I'll take man versus machine for 300.
The only company that provides a solution using automated machine learning, not humans, to capture allowances, fees, additional tenths of labor, and automatically submit for payments within 24 hours.
Who is WarrCloud?
Exactly right. And finally,
Whip them for 400, Jim.
the only automated warranty solution that doesn't get sick, take vacations, or quit.
Who is WarrCloud?
Exactly right again. The answer every time is WarrCloud. And for those of you watching, if you'd like to explore ways to improve your profitability by automating your warranty claims processing, scan the code on your screen or visit us at warrcloud.com for a free warranty analysis today. Thank you.
Power Up with Zack Fox of BG Products in a segment filmed live at our Northwood University pop-up event.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. And Ted, we have a very special guest here at Northwood University, this part of BG Products.
That's right. Very excited, everybody, to introduce the roundtable to our good friend Zack Fox from BG Products. Zack, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
As always, it's always good to be here and good whenever we were able to connect. And this one was local for me, so that made it really easy. I was able to squeeze in a little extra time to get together. Anything we can do for Fixed Ops Roundtable is always what our priority.
Well, Zack, we're very grateful to BG Products for all that you do for our industry. Just amazing the scope that you've got. I know, Sarah, you were recently in Wichita at the headquarters and did one of our pop-ups there as well. So, Zack, if it's okay, I want to kind of come back to some of the things that you and I talked about earlier this year. BG Products, partners beyond products, okay? And really, you taught us that there's a whole lot behind that message. Bring us up to date on partners beyond products.
So our biggest piece with Partner Beyond Products that we always get into is just you got to be more than just a vendor. And there's a lot of vendors out there. There's a lot of different people that are going to provide one service or another, or they'll, maybe it's just a product, maybe it's training, maybe it's one piece. But what we try and do is really bring that all into one kind of a big picture, because if we can help our customers succeed in one area, we can help them in all of their areas. And that's kind of the big focus we have. It's not just about selling our products, but if we could sell more maintenance in general, whether it's spark plugs or even OEM services, anything we can do on that really helps the dealerships overall, and that just comes back to our partnership with them.
BG University is also something that Sarah and I had a chance to see recently in Wichita. Just amazing the things that you're doing on that training piece to help educate the industry, help educate advisors, people who interact customer facing. Tell us a little bit more about what's happening there as well.
Yes, BGU, that's going to be internal to BG. We bring in all of our reps because we have roughly, I think the last count I saw was right in the 750 range. So with that many reps, obviously we can't just throw them out in the field. We can't just send them out there with no training, no guidance, no cohesiveness. So we send them all through BGU classes. It's basically like a week-long boot camp that they're going to go through, and then obviously there's follow-up modules after that. But that week-long boot camp is where we get them, trained up on all the skills, because a lot of our guys come from one specific area of the market. So maybe they were a service manager before, maybe they were worked in parts, but they need to understand the entire picture if they're going to go help a dealership, with all their different issues or their different problems, or just get to the next level.
There's so many companies in this space in our industry as fixed ops under that category, but BG has tremendous market share. Could you speak to that here in the United States in terms of dealerships?
So in terms of dealerships with market share, we're past the 50% mark. So more than half of the dealerships in the United States are using BG products. And obviously some have a larger product line than others, but the big thing is that we're in about half the dealerships that are out there. And that's because of our, embracing this Partners Beyond Products. I can get one product on the shelf, but then I can help with retention, if I can help with BDC, if I can help with training advisors, all those pieces come back to help us kind of hold on to those dealerships.
Sarah, you met a BG dealer recently in Wichita who's very vocal and is a great advocate for dealers. His family's been in the industry for a whole long time. Talk to us a little bit about Bob Tasca when you met him and some of the things he told us.
Well, Bob is just an incredible advocate for the dealership environment, and then also BG products. And what was so incredible about listening to him was some of the ways that you were describing, having this comprehensive, inclusive training approach with his stores, and what he was sharing specifically around technicians and some of the retention and hiring strategies that he was using in his stores, and going on the road and speaking about how important it is to find really good talent and keep them in our organizations. And I think, Zach, one of the things that I would love to hear your thoughts on too. So some of the things that Bob was talking about are the research components that BG does to really influence and help with this training initiative. Could you describe a little bit more about some of the research pieces that are going on that y'all are working on to help support dealers in the BG products that they have at their stores?
So absolutely. So one of the big things as far as product research that we do, we take basically any competitor's product that we have out there, along with all of the different OEM products, and we make sure that our products stack up, and meet or exceed those expectations. And we've kind of always err on the side of exceeding, because we want to make sure that if we're going to put this into a vehicle, that we're not going to have issues with that vehicle, we're not going to have problems, and that we're going to make sure that that's actually in better condition, the fluid's more durable than where we found it. As far as our training goes, the beauty of having so many reps and so many distributors in this entire model where we're spread out so well, throughout the United States, but also in, I believe we're at 68 countries, if I remember correctly. So having that presence, we get to see a lot of different models and a lot of what works, a lot of what doesn't work, and then we're able to kind of bring that all back together and provide that to our dealerships and to our reps so that they can go out there and train on these ideas and these new pieces that we're seeing maybe in one area of the country that we're not seeing elsewhere. And we can bring those good pieces here and kind of maybe weed out some of the bad pieces that we have going on over there. And it just helps everybody benefit, helps everybody move forward, and really just kind of that communal knowledge that we're able to then bring in with that research that really helps move the needle forward.
I was recently at your facilities in El Dorado, Kansas, which is about a half hour from Wichita. Zach, I was beyond impressed. You've got warehouses and buildings that are football field size, state-of-the-art, new, and I mean brand new, where you are not only manufacturing, you are hitting these products to make it easier on the dealership level for the technician to have not just the one product, but the two or three that kind of all go together. And the robots, the assembly, the warehousing, and then even the shipping of the product. There's really nobody even close to being in your space.
No, absolutely. One of the big pieces we looked at, and this actually really benefited us during COVID, was supply shortages, right? We all dealt with supply shortages in one way or another, or staffing shortages. And for us, because we keep so many pieces internal, we manufacture our own products, we kit our own products, everything gets put into the cans, everything is done internally, even to the point of shipping to our distributors. We own the shipping company that ships to our distributors. We can control as much of that so that we don't have a lot of the issues where we're running into somebody else running out of CB2 fluid, and our response to this way, we can be, well, how much do you need? We can ship it there. We can get it to you. And oftentimes our distributors have it in their warehouses, not just in our primary warehouses. So you've seen the ones that are football-sized fields, but keep in mind there's all of our other distributors scattered throughout the United States that they have warehouses themselves. So product for us, while we've ran into a few shortages, it's been very far and few between as compared to the rest of the automotive industry, I guess you could say. We're kind of better prepared for that than a lot of others were.
In addition to the product, the lab that you've got there, the research and testing and development, you've also got a team, a cutting-edge team. It's kind of, when I was there, kind of like a top secret team, okay? Because they're working on, as new models, that's as 2024s and 2025s come out, they are going ahead and creating fittings that are needed out in the field at the dealership level that the distributors are letting them know. And you know what? We've got a particular model. Let's say it's a Ford F-150 and we need a new type fitting for the new model year. You're actually developing prototypes and then testing them and getting them out into the field so that product can be applied. Tell us a little bit about that, because I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, so as I said, everything's internal that we try and keep within the company. We keep control of it. That way we can make sure we're able to provide. So when a new vehicle comes out, we actually can take and we build the fittings ourselves, all CNC, machine shop basically, but we're going to build all of those pieces. And then we have deals with dealerships around us where we're able to bring in those actual vehicles the moment they're actually in dealerships, and we'll bring them in. We can test all the fittings, make sure we're not going to have any issues, and then we can mass produce the fittings we need and ship them out. So realistically, we have a fitting or can make a fitting for every vehicle that's out there in existence.
And Sarah, did you get to actually go inside one of the dynos, okay, and test one of the vehicles that were there?
I got to watch it, and it was amazing to see just that in the lab. So the technicians getting the opportunity to really be doing science experiments right there and having all of that. It was so powerful to see. And so it was an incredible setup, Zach. It was just fantastic, the amount of work and the amount of teamwork that goes into developing these products.
Absolutely. It's always you walk in, it's like a beehive. There's always something going on somewhere. You just walk down one aisle and there's something going on here. There's a group testing a new vehicle. There's something new on the dyno running, or there's engines in teardown stages. So there's just always something going on. And for me, I'm remote, so I'm not always in Wichita. And actually, I live here in Michigan. So when I go back to Wichita, it's kind of fun. I get to walk through the buildings and walk through the plants and just kind of see what's changed since I was there, a month ago. And then you see there's just so much difference, so much going on at all times.
Well, Zach, we're very grateful to you and to BG Products for all you do in the industry and allowing us to do venues like here at Northwood University, where they're developing such young talent to come into the industry and to allow us to go out to dealerships around the United States and help tell their story of what's special and how BG Products is integral to what they're doing. And it's just an amazing opportunity. So thank you to BG Products for that.
Thanks, Ted.
All right. Everybody, Zack Fox from BG Products. For more information, of course, you can go to bgprod.com. And BG Products is the exclusive sponsor of the pop-up events here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Stay with us. We have a lot more coming up ahead.
The Fixed Ops Roundtable Certified program allows exceptional dealers and retail partners the opportunity to showcase their success. As our industry continues to evolve, certified dealers and retail partners are a testament to the ongoing pursuit of excellence. For more information, visit us at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com.
Up next, we've got a super student panel at Northwood University featuring Lilliana Bernier, Eddie MacNellis, and Kelsey Depault.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sophie Jordan-Collins, along with Sarah Van Tyne, and we're here at our Northwood University student panel. Students, can I have you go down the line and say your name and where you're from, as well as your major?
Yes, my name is Kelsey Depault. My major is marketing communications, and I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
My name is Eddie MacNellis. My hometown is Midland, Michigan, so right here, and my major is aftermarket automotive management.
My name is Lilliana Bernier. I'm from Rochester, Michigan, and my major is finance.
Well, thank you all for being here with us today. There is so much going on the Northwood University campus, and it's really exciting to see so many student volunteers that are participating in this auto show. I just would love to hear each of y'all individually. So what has your Northwood student experience been like so far, and what has been your most favorite thing about it? Lilliana, I'll start with you.
Yeah, my favorite thing is just how much the students do so much work here and how much the student involvement is. I'm on the e-board for the fashion show, and I work in student life, so I get to work a lot with students, and student life has also allowed me to work with the marketing team and the alumni team. So I just love how it gives you so many connections.
I would definitely say for me, it's the ability to network and make special connections with people, whether that's in your industry or even just here on campus. It's really allowed us to kind of dive further into our careers and kind of explore our options a little bit. So,
yeah, kind of what Eddie and Willie said. There's so many opportunities at Northwood, and the students are so involved here that you really have so many different types of things that you can do. You can get your interests, anything that you're really interested in. So it's great.
So with all the different colleges and universities out there, why did y'all decide to come to Northwood?
So I actually played softball here for a little bit, but I actually really chose Northwood for the school, and then playing softball is just a bonus. I just really loved the opportunities that Northwood gave me as a student, and all of the different types of classes that you can choose from. It's all very business focused, which I really, really liked that, and I liked the smaller class sizes. So that's why I chose Northwood.
Going off of what Kelsey said, the small class sizes, you just get to know your professors really well, and it's a lot more one-on-one learning. Obviously at bigger schools, sometimes you got classes with 300 or 400 kids. So having the ability to really get to know your professors and then dive deeper into your career aspects and their help. Northwood professors will help you with internships and getting connections and getting you all set up for your career. So
yeah, I'd have to agree with them, the small class sizes. But for me, the biggest thing was just that you're in your major your first year. So your first semester, you're going to have a class in your major. In a bigger school, sometimes you can't get that. And I'm also part of the BBA MBA program. So I'll graduate May 2025 with my bachelor's, and then August 2026 with my master's. So that was really important.
Well, you are all such incredible examples and leaders for students in the university. And it's really incredible to see all of your involvement and all the things that you're working on. So tell me a little bit and talk to us about Northwood University's philosophy. The idea that the campus really values freedom, the personal responsibility, and also the enterprise. I'd love to hear how Northwood University has really impacted you with those values.
So I am very involved on campus. I was a softball player here, and now I just do graphics for the athletic department, and I'm also part of a sorority here on campus. So I just think that being able to have your own responsibility and finding things that you're really interested in, and just being able to take every opportunity that you possibly can here on campus, I feel like that is definitely something that I feel like I really value from the Northwood idea.
Yeah, I would say for me, kind of going off what Kelsey said, the involvement behind campus, there's so many different people that are willing to go out of their way and reach out to you or help you get involved around campus. I know for me, I have a job here at Northwood. I work in the president's office, and then I'm also on the lacrosse team here, involved in the fraternity, some auto show stuff. And so being able to just really pick up wherever you want to go. There's so many different different ways you can take your experience here at Northwood, like with the fashion show, or like I'm a huge car guy, so like I really love, diving into stuff with the auto show. So
yeah, I have to agree with what both of them said, but then just going off of that, I think that the values just will help you so much going into like your future career, and it's just kind of a good foundation to have as you go into line of career.
So since y'all are all extremely involved here at Northwood, and you're definitely leaders both here at the schools and in your communities, and we know that one of Northwood's missions is to empower leaders, I'm curious, how are y'all practically taking what you're learning here to build foundations for a successful career later in life?
I just think that there is so many opportunities to become a leader on campus and in your classes. And I think that Northwood has just given me the confidence of just being able to go into anything, be able to have a good conversation with people in the business world. So I just think that Northwood has really prepared me for those aspects.
yeah, I would say definitely when it comes down to being a leader, the opportunities here on campus are really second to none. With being so involved, you get to go to, events like the career fair and stuff like that, where it's centered around the students to help you progress further into your career and give you opportunities. Like that's where I got my first internship this summer. And all throughout campus, like I said, again, with like the small class sizes, your professors all really well. They've all worked in the industry, so they just want to help better you and help you get started in your career. So being able to, sit down and talk with them or go in for an interview, Northwood prepares you really well just to become a leader, and getting more involved, obviously you get more opportunities to do that. So
yeah, I would just say this school gives you so much hands-on experience that you can't get anywhere else, and all of this experience you can just take into your future life. So
well, it is incredible to hear all of the ways that Northwood has really touched your lives, both as a student and then also in some of the values that y'all take home and apply to everything in your personal lives too. It is really a testament to the future of how y'all are looking at the enterprise and looking at business and the opportunities where you'll be able to be an advocate for so many others as you make all of these connections. With that, thank you everyone for being on this panel today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. On behalf of Teddings, stay tuned. We have some amazing segments coming up later on in the show. You'll want to hang around and catch the next segments as we continue to go and talk about all the ways that students are impacting the future of automotive at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Good afternoon, everyone. I found some of my mobile guys coming back in for a few minutes, so I want to take a moment to introduce you guys to them. Got Jared, been out running the streets this morning, hanging out with Tyler. These two are a shady bunch right here. Be careful if they show up to your house. You got Patrick? Harley?
Yes, sir.
Last name is Davidson.
Yep.
If you find him on social that way. Got Poe. Hello, Poe. These guys make it happen as well. I have more. This one still out in the field. We got a couple more here right now. Nate. Nate also got him a new ride recently. He's been rolling around showing it off. We got Michael. These two guys have been a pair for what, 4 years now?
Yeah. Working 4 years, yes. Just round it up. Just round it up, yeah.
Appreciate what you guys do, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes.